It's Interprovincial Series time. Hello and welcome to the Ward Stormont for this Interprovincial Trophy 20-over match between defending champions, the Northern Knights. And bottom of the table, for now at least, Northwest Warriors, who finished second last season. Second time they're meeting already this campaign. Just a week ago, the Knights won by 7 wickets as Tom Mays took 4 wickets to restrict the Northwest Warriors to 119 before Paul Sterling's 59 helped chase down the target of 120 in 14.1 overs. But an opportunity to reverse that for the Northwest Warriors and claim their first win of the campaign. For the Knights, though, host this fixture, an opportunity to go top of the standings and leapfrog Leinster Lightning, who currently top the standings, courtesy of their 3 wins from 3 from the festival last week. An opportunity, though, for Northern Knights to again show what they can do in terms of their depth, because they are missing a couple of players, including the man I just mentioned, Paul Sterling, who will captain Ireland over the next few series. And Mark Adair, the captain of Northern Knights, is out for today's fixture. Northwest Warriors also without Graham Hume and Craig Young, who are on international duty, and Conor Alford as well, still injured and unavailable today. But the news as the umpires begin to make their way out to the centre of the pitch, George Brolly and Jareth McCready, the men in the middle for this Interprovincial Trophy tie. I'm delighted to welcome alongside me Ali McCalmont, and this is set to be a cracker of a game. McBrien having won the toss and opted to field for Northwest Warriors.
Yeah, good afternoon everybody, and good afternoon Dwayne, and welcome you along to Belfast here. It was a beautiful sunny day about an hour ago. Slight cloud cover now, still quite warm, and certainly given the last couple of weeks here up in this part of the world, we'll take those small wins today. That we've got a lovely day for cricket, and we're all set, as you say, Dwayne, for a cracking game here, the rematch from last week. Really good festival last week, 3 days worth of back-to-back T20 cricket. As you mentioned, missing a few of the internationals away with Ireland, but the Knights have got Ross Adair, who is in the Ireland squad, still available today. And he's out there in the middle, just taking his guard at the moment. And it's going to be Jake Egan, who has the unenviable task of replacing Paul Sterling at the top of the order for the Knights. So young Jake Egan from the Carrickfergus club. He's going to open the batting with Ross Adair. So it's going to be Ryan Macbeth, by the look of it. He's going to bowl for the Warriors from the Dundonald end as we look. So we're all set here to get going. Game 7 in this IP20 tournament. Ram Macbeth. Full ball, and Ross Adair digs it out. On his last game, if you were watching last week against the Lightning, he hit the first ball from Barry McCarthy straight down to Harry Tector at mid-off and was gone first ball. So that's a good start in a way for Ross Adair, that he's still there. So he'll be looking for a few runs today. That'll be the first run with an extra down leg side. So yeah, should be a good game here today. Dwayne, as you said, conditions, it's quite warm out there compared to last week when it was quite chilly down at Pembroke.
Certainly is. Wonderful conditions for cricket, but I think one of the things that might be a little bit of an unknown quantity is the pitch today, the first game of the season here at the Ward Stormont.
Oh, would you believe it? The wicket has gone down in the first over again. Ryan Macbeth, with his second legal delivery, has picked up the wicket of Ross Adair. Again, targeting the stumps, and actually it's just nipped back in there and taking the middle stump. Ross Adair will not be happy with that shot. It's his regular way of playing. He'd have been looking to make a statement today, but a great start for the Warriors. It's 1 for 1.
Fantastic start, lovely delivery, putting it in the right spot, and Ross Adair, as you say, playing his natural game, but not for a duck that'll certainly not please him. He'll be off to international duty very soon. Maybe looking to get in a big score today, but that's not happening. As Macbeth on target in the first over. It's so significant to take the early wickets in the power plays. give yourself an advantage, and certainly Northwest Warriors getting off to a really good start here and a promising start. Wonderful platform that Ryan Macbeth has given Boyd Rankin's team.
Yeah, and that immediately is the difference between them today. Obviously, we've only just started the game, but lack of wickets last week was a big thing for the Warriors. It's James McCullum. He's facing up already. That's the stock delivery for Ryan Macbeth. Out swinger. That's why it was such a good piece of bowling there. That his stock delivery is on off stump, swinging away towards those sort of fielder slips, keeper. But that one just held its line, maybe even nipped back a little bit. And possibly Ross Adair was playing for that little bit of outswing. Driven and well fielded. The point region there. Scott Macbeth doing the fielding there. So a good start here for the Warriors. They really needed that just to build up a little bit of confidence.
Yeah, coming into the second round of fixtures, as it were, they find themselves bottom of the standings and significantly down in terms of net run rate. So this is a positive beginning.
Well bowled. He's kept a little low. Looking at that, you can see a couple of bounces through to the keeper. Something to keep an eye on here. It is, as you mentioned earlier, Dwayne, it's first game of the season really here at the Ward, and part of Andy McBride's reason for fielding first was the fact that not really sure what a good score would be today. This pitch. Yeah, it's a real good start this from Macbeth.
Well, that's a wonderful start.
Yeah, possibly one short there, ball wide in the. Yeah. Either way, it's 1 for 1 off the first over. So a top start for Andy McBride's troops, as we say, trying to rebuild a little bit after last week. Well, plenty of games left in this IP20, so a good start around Macbeth there.
So Jake Egan will have the opportunity to face.
Yeah, Trent McKeegan down there. It's looked like warming up.
Yeah, Trent McKeegan be bowling from the city end.
Interesting move to put Egan up top of the order. As I say, Paul Sterling obviously not available. It's Jake Egan that's got the nod. In comes McKeegan. Bit of rarity there. T20 cricket. Leave.
Egan happy to just watch that one as it went by, fairly wide outside off.
Yeah, I'd say he probably will be throwing the kitchen sink if he pulls another one out there. Just having a little look. Taylor Lang going for a quick single. That's good running. Spotted.
Runs off the bat.
The first one. Well, we always look at boundaries in the first 6. Boundary count in the first 6, and so we say a good start. The Warriors, no boundary balls as yet. So they'll be happy with that. Try and keep this run rate down. Northern Knights, well known for their fast starts so far. James McCullum taking strike for the first time at this end. Full from McKeegan. So McCullum played pretty well last week, got a nice 40 in his second innings, 19 and 18, so he'll be quite happy with his return from the first 3 games in the festival last week. I'll say a nice 40 when he dovetailed well with Sterling. He'll just be looking to do something similar here, settle himself in. Does like to be a little bit innovative early, so we've seen that ramp shot quite a lot. That's well bowled. That's a better line. Really good line from McKeegan.
Yeah, had McCollum playing at that one. Very, very technically sound player generally is James McCollum. And good to see him back after that ligament damage from last year.
Yeah, we talked about that last week, that he's kind of pigeonholed into the red ball sort of one-day series, but certainly can play T20, absolutely. He's not timed that at all. Had a bit of a go at it. Should have been offside, you would have thought. Still going away. That outfield is quick, and it's going to beat the man. Down there for 4. Jared Wilson, I think. And despairing dive at the end there. Didn't really time it though, but it went for 4.
Yeah. First boundary, pulled from outside off.
Yeah.
Good intention, running that first run hard, despite the fact that the ball eventually reached the boundary rope. Some good indications early on from McCollum and Egan.
Similar type of shot, this one aerial. It's going to be a similar result. We just mentioned about him being aesthetically pleasing on the eye when he's playing red ball.
Yep.
Not so much in those 2 shots, but he'll take them. They're 2 boundaries. 10 for 1 off the first 2 now. Yeah, so we've had a little look around the ground pre-game here. Obviously the 2 captains did mention to me at the toss, dimensions of the ground are a little bit strange today. As you're looking at the ground, to the right is the pavilion, and that boundary is a good 20-25% shorter than the other 3, so it'll be something to keep an eye on. So to the leg side as we look now, and lots of space there. There is a man posted at deep square leg at the moment. Your other boundary rider is on the opposite side at deep cover. Ram Macbeth to Egan. And there it is. That's exactly what Ram Macbeth has been doing for a few years now. Just on that channel. Little bit of a way swing. Looking to nick that through to the keeper or slips.
Despite that early wide down leg side, he's found a good rhythm here as Macbeth opening the bowling.
The offside, that man on the boundary. There'll probably be 2 with these 2 in the middle. As you say, they're quick. Man comes round from deep cover, mops up, and it's 2 more to the total.
Just a little movement away with this delivery, but batter saw it nicely. Just forward of the square for those 2.
Back live here, just a single. Tapped into the leg side from Egan. But you've seen already that these 2 are going to look to hassle and harry the field. Not just the boundaries. If the boundaries aren't coming, they've really got to turn over the strike, and they've been good so far. Between the wickets, just changing the field. And that's probably as a result of what I was talking about earlier, that ramp shot that McCollum plays. So slip is coming out now as well, but they've sent back 45 at fine leg. He's gone back to orthodox fine leg, and the deep cover fielder has come up into the ring, so it's a ring field on the offside, and now a mid wicket in from slip. That could be a wide. Yep, George Brawley, the umpire at this Dundonald end, gets into the action, singles another wide from Macbeth. right where that man Kit came out of slip into, exactly there in mid wicket. 2 dot balls in a row for Macbeth, just gone for the 4.
For the Knights, there is that element of trying to replace Sterling up at the top of the order, and how you play. Is there a sort of game plan not having Sterling in the lineup? There would have been plenty of discussion back room about how to go about things.
Just be one. Kit comes around field. Yeah, that's a really good point, that Sterling not available. One thing I would say is that they coped really well last year without their internationals. I think Simon Johnson, the coach, made it very clear at the start of the season that they were planning without them.
Yes.
And if they came in, it was a bonus, and it really worked out for them because it gave the confidence to the younger players that they were going to play, and they understood that if Adair and Sterling came back, that they would drop out then. So good communication from the coach last year. Again, nicely bowled. Macbeth closes out. And over. And another good one from Ryan Macbeth. Good start from him. Exactly what his skipper would have asked for. And 2 overs gone. Sorry, 3. Excuse me. 3. And it's 15 for 1.
So halfway through the power play. Really does give you an excellent platform from which to build if you can find some early runs in the power play with the additional fielding restrictions. It will be intriguing to see how Egan and McCollum play over the next 3 overs.
Yeah, I could see he got the 45 is in the ring again, so no fine leg, and the ring is quite deep here, so possibly McCollum won't play that ramp shot, but he has been quite keen on playing it early in his innings and at the festival. Let's see if he decides to play it. Plays quite orthodox still, and they're pushing for 2 here. Yeah, I'm going to say it's good running, but
a little hesitation from Egan on one end, but McCollum ran it hard the entire 2.
It was a good throw there, because I think you're right that McCollum was set. You can see here McCollum's almost certainly, if you just watch Egan, he just hesitates there. That caused a bit of a problem, and I think if that had been a direct hit, may have been a decision for the umpire.
Yeah. Good take from McKeegan though. Continues with his second over.
Just drifting down leg there.
Yeah.
I'll be happy with this start, the Warriors. Major fireworks so far from the Knights. As you mentioned, gonna have a plan here. There it is.
There's the shot you were talking about, exactly.
Yeah, I have to say, hasn't been the most successful at it so far. Yes, he's got a couple away, but percentage-wise, hasn't really made contact that often. It's always a shot that people say you shouldn't play, but you know, if you go for a drive and miss it, they don't say you shouldn't have played that shot. It's just that actual execution at the minute for McCollum isn't there. He's not getting too much on it, and they've decided to let him put it to bed, really, because they've put a man back now. They've brought the deep square leg up into the ring at square leg and sent that man back to orthodox fine leg. So I think McCollum probably won't see that as a percentage shot now. Could be a wide, yeah. Well stopped from Stephen Downey behind the stumps. Bit of a poor delivery there from McKeegan. Tried something different, a little bit of a slower ball.
Yeah, it just looked like the off cutter, and certainly a little bit of bite in that pitch. Really testing for Doheny down leg, but the keeper got there, smothered the ball. Column on strike.
Yeah, something to watch for, I think. Looking at the pitch, I do think it's something to watch for is the slower balls, the off cutters, out of the back of the hand. Possibly it's something that we'll probably see. Oh, I've just seen a free hit there. A free hit, I think. Signal given there. I think I caught that okay. Signal from Jareth McCready. Probably tell from McCollum's shot here. Yeah. He hasn't made contact. It's a bit of a frustrating start here for the Northern Knights. So used to getting off the mark really quickly with Adair and Sterling. Both going hard from ball one. Sterling obviously missing today and Adair out in the first over. These two got a job on. That's the slower ball we're talking about. In the back of the hand. Pitched it well. Just, I think, something to keep an eye on as well. Just too many dot balls here at the moment. Just, in the power play.
The dot balls for the fielding side are absolute bonuses, particularly in the power play overs.
That's unlucky. It's going to be unlucky, even more so. He's given his runs, so got a little tickle on that. So I think that's probably a bonus there for McCollum. He's taking a bit of another wild hack at that. The umpire seems to think he's got an inside edge. Beats Doheny, goes for 4.
Certainly the inside edge does beat the keeper, and 23 for 1 at the end of 4 overs. It's not quite at a runner ball. But 3 boundaries off McKeegan now.
Yeah, and look, I'm probably going to break off the game a little bit here, but just delighted to see, just seeing this man with the ball in hand again. Know him quite well, and I've spoken quite a lot to him last year. I didn't think that he thought that he'd be back bowling again, so it's absolutely terrific to see that number 58, Shane Gatgate's got the ball back in his hand here, and he comes for his first ball. He'll be pushed into the offside just for 1, but just so good to see him back. He had a really bad back injury and really don't think he thought he'd be back bowling again. So, as I say, it's terrific to see Big Red back with the ball in his hand, just helping out the Warriors here. Really good.
A very fine cricketer, comes from fine cricketing stock as well in South Africa. Robert Gatgate, a former Natal player in years gone by. His grandfather.
Yeah, McCollum's got the hold of that. It's going to beat McBride. And then off while he get down to the boundary. McBride got there. He got there the whole way. Gives a little hand to his bowler because he had got there. He'd done the hard yards and then just didn't get the full hand on it to pull it back in, and wasted effort now for Andy.
Yeah.
Should have been 2. It's gone to the boundary, but no. Just lift a little bit of pressure in the early in the over. Yeah, McCollum, he's doing the majority of the scoring here. He's getting the boundaries, but doesn't look overly comfortable at the moment. I mean, that really probably should have been hit on the offside, but bottom hand coming in.
He is getting the boundaries, but he is also collecting the majority of the dot balls.
That's well fielded. come back, 2 dot balls for Get Kate, and again, not that big over in the power play yet for the Knights. Not far to the end of it. There'll be work to do for Donny again. Just held on to that one a little bit. You would have to say, no surprise, he's a little bit rusty. Hasn't bowled in almost 2-3 years, so no surprise, he's a little bit rusty, as I say.
But it is delightful to see him back. Remember him impressing, was it the 2010 Under-19 World Cup? He was one of the impressive youngsters. Oh, this one just misses down leg. It'll be a wide down leg.
Oh, absolutely. Played pretty much for every franchise in the interprovincial bar, possibly the Reds, and so he's found a little home in the Warriors now, and he's played for them for a few years, but certainly when he was playing club cricket in the NCU, very, very dangerous all-rounder. Nicely bowled. Quick single type.
A good recovery from Get Kate there. As well worked away for quick single.
Yeah, Jake Egan seems to be quite content if it is a good ball to push it into the gaps and take one. Colin does seem to be looking for the big shot more. On that occasion, he does just play it into the offside for a dot ball. And let's say, good stuff for Shane Getkiat. He's back there and has bowled his first over in quite some time. Gone for 8 from it, and the score is 31 for 1 from 5.
Quite literally a quarter of the way through the innings. 1 over to go in the power play, and the Knights will be fancying upping it ever so slightly. That's Zimmerman.
Yep, Harry Zimmerman.
Was the ball, yeah?
Yep. It's going to come on here from the city end to replace McKeegan. Missed out in the first few games of the festival, Harry Zimmerman. But obviously with no Hume, no Young, for obvious reasons, given his chance today. Again, not timed by Ian. Just be 1. So yeah, they'll definitely be looking for a couple of boundaries in this over, I would say, just to get that momentum as they move into the middle period of a T20. Obviously after 6 overs, field inside can, if they wish, and almost exclusively do, push fielders out around the boundary. So just brought up deep cover, sent out deep mid wicket now and deep square leg. That man will be in business. I think it'll just be 1 because he's there. Yep, wasn't wide enough. And a good return. Really good stuff out there. Jared Wilson, I think, on the boundary there.
Yeah, excellent fielding from Wilson. Closed down the ball quickly and a very accurate throw as well. Had the batters in 2 minds for just a moment, and they opted against chancing their arm, so to speak. That's
a bit off. He's just fielded the ball at what we would call cow corner, and they've changed the field, brought Scott Macbeth over and sent Jared Wilson over to field it at point. A bit of a long haul for him. Oh, that was in the slot, and a big boot down on it. Probably save 4. Well, save 3 because it went for a single. Body on the line there from Zimmerman. Of course, Aussie born Zimmerman. Played for Ardmore last year, very, very successfully in the Northwest. Led them to their first ever league title. Popular character up there. Played for the Warriors last year. Gets his chance again today. little bit short. But the field is there. Happy with ones.
Yeah, that ball just a little too short, and certainly McCollum had the opportunity to pull that. Wasn't able to get it wide of the fielder though. He'll take just the single. Egan back on strike. Straight down the ground. Doesn't have enough. Didn't quite connect. Back over the bowler's head. Generally a good scoring area.
I think it's just been the way Egan's played so far. He hasn't really timed the ball as well as he would like. That was a perfect example. Looked as if he'd got plenty on it, but hadn't really got the ball in the middle as yet.
And despite the fact that a few balls from both sides have come down towards the pavilion side of things, the batters are not making use of the shorter boundary. Intriguingly, that this time toward the pavilion.
You'd have to credit the Warriors in a way there, supposing that over. Zimmerman bowling into the body, a little bit short, and letting them play into that much bigger leg side on this occasion with two men back. They'll take the singles. So it's obviously what Andy McBride was thinking about, possibly at the toss with the shorter boundary. Obviously, if you know what you're chasing, if it's a big total, you know you can use the smaller boundary. But if it's if you're restricting a team who doesn't really know what sort of total to set here, might have been the reason why he decided also to bowl first.
Second over for Kate. Power play done. So just squeezing three leg side fielders out to the boundary.
Yeah, that's again something similar again. Nice looking shot, but again the timing just not there. The outfield maybe a touch slower than we maybe expected. That held up.
Did hold up quite a bit, allowing Jared Wilson time to get to the ball fairly comfortably before the boundary rope.
Oh, great piece of fielding. Ken Hilton there, I think, a cover. Right hand down to that.
Yeah.
Usually a wicket keeper. Good hands.
When your captain comes over and applauds your effort, you know it's decent. That was well struck off the bat. Very firm from Egan. McCollum on strike.
Well bowled. Nice and tight lines. Impressed here so far with the Warriors. 6.5 gone here. Keeping it reasonably tight here.
Some quality fielding. Yep.
So he can back on strike here. Just down to third man. You obviously the graphics in front of you there, just a little bit behind at the moment. Try and keep you up to speed here. No major fireworks though to end. We're not catching up. Just singles really at the moment.
Yeah, they're chipping away. Northern Knights not off to an overly frantic or flamboyant start.
To the field, yep.
Yeah, Ralston.
Another one ticks by. 7 going just singles from that over. Apart from the 2 at the start of it, obviously. But a good stop from Kane Hilton, kept that boundary count down. That's exactly what they need. Just that throwing themselves about in the field. Stopping boundaries, building pressure.
So 45 for 1 through 7 overs we are.
Yeah, I'm not surprised with this, given the circumstances where we're at. Andy McBride.
Yeah. Captain himself, brings himself on. A little bit of the slower bowling, and this will be intriguing to see what this does off the pitch.
This type of scenario is just when Andy McBride likes to come on, where a little bit of a, not so much of a squeeze, but runs aren't flowing. He's not coming on with the 2 batters set and really, confident in what they're doing. At the moment, they're sort of searching for the boundaries. Andy McBride will bowl stump to stump from here, I'm sure.
McCollum trying to get over the top of that. Well, it should be 2. And
should be.
While we were praising the running between these 2 batters, Egan and McCollum, in the early overs, that really should have been 2. Well wide of the fielder.
Yeah, I think you're right there. Probably should have been 2. Sometimes that costs a wicket. This time Egan's happy enough just to drop it on the offside. It's amazing how many times that, I suppose you notice it then when they don't take 2 and they should have been, and then there's a wicket, you do notice it a little bit more, but maybe that's why I'm saying that, but a number of times you shouldn't be at that end and then lose your wicket. Egan happy enough to just chuck it into the leg side though.
What they're doing now though is picking off the singles and rotating strike nicely. If you can rotate strike and pick up a boundary in an over, it's generally a good result.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it'll come down to then, that boundary count. The ones are coming. It's a big outfield here, lots of space. But it's that boundary count at the moment. Happy enough for 1, not even attempting 2 there. Yeah, just a little bit of pressure coming here.
McBride not giving any time to the batters either. Rushing through the over. That's good positive attitude from the Warriors.
Yeah, that's kind of why I'm saying he really relishes this type of contest. Just getting through his over quick. He's happy enough to give 1s. He doesn't want to give any boundaries. He'll just be happy to try and get through a couple of overs really quickly here. Egan goes back this time. Man coming round. Should be under it. Takes the catch. Shane Gatgate down there.
Brilliantly taken by Gatgate as the 50 came up. The big shot was certainly on. McCollum not quite getting under it the way he would have liked. Not all of the bat, Egan rather, not quite getting under it the way he would have liked. And suddenly, Knights are 2 down.
Yeah, I think the same again, really. Went for the big shot. Hasn't really timed the ball with any fluency. And similar again. Looked as if he got himself into a good position to play that shot, but again, seemed to come off the under sort of portion of the bat. Didn't sound great off the bat, and Shane Gatgate down there. Great pair of hands. It was really whether he got there in time, and he certainly did that. And once he was under the ball, didn't think there was any hope of him dropping it, and he certainly didn't. Egan goes, and it's 50 for 2. Again, just updating you the score there. It's 50 for 2. Jake Egan goes for 17. Caught Gatgate, bowled McBride, and that's exactly what Andy McBride would have ordered there, bringing himself on, even to keep it quite tight with the bonus. Last ball, picks up a wicket. He'll be absolutely delighted.
Well, the Knights were looking for those singles and then adding a boundary at the end of the over, but that not to be. Caught on the boundary by Get Cates. The bowling of McBride, who got through his over really nicely. So the Knights now 2 down as the 50 came up. And Zimmerman with a change of ends.
Yeah, Cade Carmichael has come out to the middle. Batter from Estonians. And he was in good nick in that last game of the festival. Really excellent 74. I think from just over 40 balls, 44 balls, I think. But again, didn't really look like he really took us by surprise that day. He just looked like he was knocking it around. But 74 of 44, not to be sniffed at, certainly against that attack. He'll be looking for something similar today.
It also, so impressively, didn't look like he was going to be getting out. And Zimmerman steams in.
Yeah, that's a really good point. He didn't, even when he was playing aggressive shots or something different, he looked in real control and just upped his innings as he went. It was almost a perfect T20 innings that he run a ball just above to start with and then really picked it up at the end. And just looking at the scoreboard right now, I think he's going to have to do something similar. Worked into the leg side. Just be one. Jared Wilson doing well again. Again, just give you an update there, the graphics. It's now 51 for 2. Kate Carmichael now on strike. Yeah, Carmichael was the Emerging Player of the Year for Cricket Ireland 2 years ago. A real good season also last year, obviously in the Knights, helping them to their season. That's a nice shot to get off the mark. Probably just one with the man stationed right there at deep point. Bowling well to their field also, the Warriors. At the moment, we're almost coming up to the halfway mark. Dwayne, and Knights really at the moment just ticking along, just over 5. That's in the gap this time, should be 2. Again, no. Fielders are well placed. Cam Wilson's a sweeper. Jared Wilson. 2 runs there to McCullum. Wide.
That was a massive reach. He gets the single, this McCollum, but
I think if he had that one back again.
Yeah, really reached across to even get to that ball. Those are the kind of deliveries sometimes the bowlers are thankful there's bat on ball.
Definitely be bowling that one again, I think. He comes anyway. Zimmerman tucked into the leg side, but again, field well set. Just a 1. Another tidy over for the Warriors. 56 for 2 now. McCullum on 30. Carmichael on 2. And there's your card. Rossett there. Similar to last week. Parried in the first over. A good ball from Ram Macbeth, snipping back through the gate. And then Egan and McCullum didn't really get going in that power play. Kept ticking it away. McCullum slightly more aggressive, but haven't really got going with the boundaries here. And Andy McBride's going to continue. I don't think he'll bowl a couple here to try and race through and hope that the Knights, just a couple of overs tick by. So McBride, the ball again to Kate Carmichael. Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of that, Dwayne. Just that back of a length, little bit of turn into the batter and let them play into that big leg side. Doesn't want to be short. I think we're going to see a lot of that shot, just tucking into the leg side. McBride will just bowl stump to stump. One more. And definitely the Warriors will be happy with this. Nothing coming at the moment. They'll just want to see a few overs disappear quickly here.
Very nicely bowled. McBride will be very pleased with what he's seen so far after having won the toss and opting to field.
Yeah, I thought there might be a stoppage there. We got the golf buggy just over the top of your screen there. Not much cricket etiquette there. Kate Carmichael had to pull away. Just be one again. Man at 45 picks that up. So again, just 3 coming from this over so far. And then McBride 1 for 8 from his 11 balls. That's what the doctor ordered from the skipper. Quicker ball. Quicker ball through the air. McCollum can do nothing with it. Bit of byplay between them there. But yeah, terrific over from Andy McBride. Exactly what we're talking about. Just tight to the body. No room. Another over ticks by, and there we are, halfway. 59 for 2. So less than a run a ball. Pressure on the Knights.
Certainly pressure on the Knights. Halfway and only 59 on the board. This is a Knights side that currently lies second in the standings, albeit through 3 rounds of fixtures. They're just behind the Lightning. But Warriors, bowling card. Macbeth and that 1 for 6 from his opening 2 overs. McBride with a wicket in his first over as well, 1 for 8. Going at 4 and over. So 2 of the bowlers, really good economy rates for all the bowlers, really. But 2 of them well under 4 and over. First ball for Zimmerman's 3rd over. Just driven into the covers. Carmichael just stroking that ball out. Be intriguing to see how he plays today, coming off that career best T20 74 unbeaten. Single.
Yeah, let's check it back here. I think the last boundary was in the 5th over, I think, or the 6th over. 6th over, I think. So 4 overs without a boundary. Really, you know, 1s and 2s are okay if you're picking up that boundary. At the moment, they're not. It continues with the same, just 1s. And you're really in a T20 game, you're looking basically for a boundary and over, and then if you're doing what you're doing now, you're scoring at 8-9, and that's fine. But this is just at the moment building a little bit of pressure up for the guys over in the hutch at the minute. That'll release a little bit of pressure.
No ball from Zimmerman though.
Cardinal error, really, given the situation. Happy to just give 1s, maybe 2s at worst. They've given away 2 there, plus the extra, plus a free hit.
McCollum's had one opportunity to try and get a free hit away. Failed to take advantage of that. Free hit for McCollum. That's well bowled.
That is very, very well bowled. The skipper's well happy with that. Might have been giving him a bit in the air there a moment ago when he bowled a no ball, but conversely, now that he's got a dot ball, that's actually really good for the Warriors. It gives him even more confidence now that he can get away with a free hit. So just the struggles continue for the Northern Knights. And again, really just nothing coming at the moment. Not finding the boundary at all.
Ken Hilton, busy man at the moment. Collins walking across to the offside before the bowler had released that. Good following from Zimmerman.
It's another good over, you have to say. It's another good over from Zimmerman. Not a great deal of pace, but accurate. Bowling to his areas that his skipper has asked him. And really, going for 20 runs from his 3 overs. Definitely something that real bonus for the Warriors, really. 3 overs there. McBride's going to come out of the attack. By the look of it, it's going to be replaced by Scott Macbeth, I think. Yep.
So 66 for 2 through 11 overs. Run rate of exactly 6. 9 overs remaining. And Scott Macbeth just going through a little bit of a warm-up. His brother Ryan having opened the bowling. Success early on as well for Ryan Macbeth. Now Scott Macbeth.
Umpires having a bit of a chat, not sure what about at the moment, but I think this over could be one of those changes in momentum here, one way or the other.
Yes. If you're the Knights, you've got to target a bowler, and maybe there's an opportunity to target the teenager who's, despite his relative experience at under 19 level.
Bit of work to do. Again, but he does it well. Again, round of applause from his bowler. Keeps it down to 1. So yeah, just as I said, feel that these two, knowing what's in their dugout at the moment, they'll rock to come. Floated in the air. Can't get the boundary. Full toss. Can't get it away. One man on that offside. Yet still just a single. Yeah, we're on repeat here. Just one's coming here.
You're just absolutely strangling the boundaries. This is really well bowled by the Warriors throughout this innings.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with them here. Obviously, the old adage that we don't know until both teams have batted, but the way they've bowled at the moment to their field and just not given any really bad balls to let the Knights get off the hook here. I'm going to give you the heads up here. The buggy's on his way again. And he's just coming round into your screen about now, so I can see just pulling away. Oh, he stopped. He stopped this time. Somebody must have said something to him. He stopped literally at the side screen.
Just past Macbeth. It'll be a single to McCollum. Add to his tally. Scott Macbeth. He's not giving away boundaries. But the Knights batters taking singles off every delivery so far. Or when there's not a buggy, there's a gentleman walking behind the sight screen. Carmichael sends that away for another single. That's 0 for 6 from his over. Scott Macbeth. And 72 for 2. The Knights are through 12 overs, going at exactly 6 and over.
Yeah, there's the Manhattan, and fairly static, you would have to say. The old builder hasn't had to build anything quite tall at the minute. 9 is the highest there, and really nothing major for the Knights. The Warriors really have kept it in check, picking up wickets occasionally, as you can see there. But it's really just bowling to their field at the minute, and I'm just looking across to my right here, and I see the coach of the Northern Knights in his red top, and he's got his arms folded. Doesn't look to be quite enamoured with what's happening out there at the moment. It's going to continue. You can see the boundary off him, but apart from that, he's bowled really well in this comeback.
Yes, not to have seen him in a couple of years. To see him back is initially, first reaction certainly pleasing, but it's been a very impressive return. An opportunity to cut that away, but again it'll just be cut down to 1.
And that's it. They just got their areas. And no smarter cricketer than Shane Gatkidd. He knows exactly where his fielders are. So he's bowling so far, and Zimmerman have basically just said, we're happy to bowl to our field. Slight change here now. But on the flip side of that then, the Knights obviously know that, where he's going to bowl it based on the field, but they haven't really adapted too well so far. They're not playing anything sort of to change the field. Just playing, well, orthodox cricket, really.
Cameron Milley, the busy man, out on the boundary at the moment. Carmichael on strike. Beautifully bowled. Great reward for the bowler. Straight back to him. Carmichael unable to get that away. Every dot ball so incredibly precious in this game. And there have been several. And it's a genuine credit to the Northwest Warriors bowlers.
Yeah, absolutely. We mentioned a little while ago about no boundaries coming. Just the penultimate ball of the 11th over was the last time we had more than a single. That was the no ball, followed up by a dot. So really, just kind of playing 50 over cricket here a little bit, the Knights at the moment.
Yeah, the question really sort of hanging over this game is, when do the Knights take it to the Warriors bowlers? Because they absolutely need to.
Well, I can give you an absolute guarantee, Dwayne. The number 5 will be sitting in the Knights tent here, Neil Rock, and he will be champing to get out there. I'll see a change of pace when he arrives, I'm sure, if he arrives. There's the first bit of foot movement down the track from McCollum. Same result. You'd have to say right now it's fairly sedate.
Last ball of the 13th over, and Carmichael has tried to lay into that, but he's only succeeded in nicking that onto his own pads and away. And does get the single.
We would just reiterate again, no boundaries since the power play. We're now 13 overs in.
And the run rate is under 6 and over. Through 13 overs, 77 for 2. As McBride brings himself back on.
gave him a prediction a couple of overs ago when Scott Macbeth came on. Didn't really occur. He just worked him for 6 singles, but I'll probably go with it again here. Something's got to give.
Nothing from the first. McBride right on point. There it is. Kate Carmichael lays into one, and that's gone all the way for 6.
Yeah, just see this one again from McBride. He just did give it a little bit more air. I'm quite surprised at that. Really, I thought he would just keep bowling into the pitch as he has been. Happy to give away ones. Just giving that little bit more loop. And I play to Carmichael. He's broken the shackles with that a little bit. Back to the stock delivery I'm talking about. Down the ground. Again to get for 1. Do just see Neil Rock popping out of the Northern Knights tent. Bat in hand. McCollum tries.
Fielder out there.
And he dropped it. Kane Hilton out there. He's been good so far. Apart from 1 miss last week. He's been good on the ground, but that's a bad miss. Kicks the ground in frustration. James McCollum there. Just heading off to the pavilion. He thought that was the end of him. Second chance though. Well bowled. That's the ball. And then McBride tight into the body. And a good comeback again.
Very good comeback after being taken for 6 and then having that drop on the boundary. Despite conceding that 6, it's really well bowled over by McBride. And the Knights find themselves ticking along a little more enthusiastically following that over with that 6. So an opportunity to see the boundaries. Just the 1-6 in the innings.
Yeah, it's been a struggle. Let's be honest, it has been a struggle. Certainly this time last week I've seen a much more aggressive wagon wheel. Boundaries really at a premium. 86 for 2 with 6 to go. So even if we give them the sort of average now of 10 and over, really only looking in the 140s, 150s, which the Warriors won't be too displeased about. Kate's going to finish. Steps across in the air this time. Yes, this time. Taken on the boundary. And James McCollum this time goes. Taken low down. Kate has his first wicket.
Carmichael stepping a long way across. Slice that ball away. Good Kate, as you say, on his return to bowling, has picked up a wicket. And a very, very eager looking Northern Knights captain Neil Rock strides out to the crease. But 86 for 3.
Yeah, he was out there in a flash and doing the old thing we used to see with Viv Richards when he used to come out the bat. Big windmill with the bat, letting the shoulders get loose. And yeah, it's going to be. But then, it isn't just an automatic that he's going to come out here and start whacking the ball around. Pitch does look a little bit on the slow side. And at the minute, his team's a little bit under the pump at 86 for 3. Carmichael 20 off 21. So I mentioned that it was McCollum. My apologies for that. It was Carmichael. So 20 from 21. Just that 1-6 brought that strike rate up. There is the confirmation. The left-hander is in. Of course, we've mentioned that he'll be off after this game, trying to join up with the Ireland squad for the series against Pakistan. So just for his own confidence, but more importantly his team here today, Getkate's going to come round the wicket.
It's a good ball first up into the left-hander. Just tucking him up ever so slightly.
Yeah, these two will have played against each other and indeed with each other quite a few times. So, as I mentioned earlier, Getkate, smart cricketer. He'll know the strengths of Neil Rock immediately.
Yes.
Changes field.
Long on and long off.
There's those hands, those quick hands. He always plays with breaking those wrists. Always, I know you're a great hockey man, Dwayne, but it always sort of looks like he's playing a little bit of hockey in a way. He just breaks those wrists and gets down towards the ball and plays the ball in really different areas.
Yeah, works the ball around the entire ground, does Neil Rock. Very quick hands, as you say. Certainly is something to note. When I first saw him, it looked like he was somebody who was going to be one of those great stroke players. He's certainly grown into his game. Getkate continues.
Yeah, he's going to get away with that one, I think. Just down the leg side. Just the one though. Can't get away again.
Two more to go in his spell for Getkate. 1 for 22 so far. Very impressive spell.
Nicely bowled. Nicely bowled. Saw Rock stepping away.
Follow the batter.
Yeah, and just bowled, took the pace off as we talked about. And nothing there to hit really. Another dot ball.
Oh, he's bowled him. Only just clipping the bails. Getkate has his second. He finishes with 2 for 22. But 15 overs gone. Rock has just been bowled. And the Knights at 88 for 4.
What a huge moment in this game. Oh, and it literally, as you called it, literally took the paint off the bails. Maybe Shane didn't realise that it hit the stumps because a fairly subdued celebration there. But what a return from him. He'll be really, really pleased with that. And just taken out of the actual game just for a second. Really pleasing for the Warriors to get him back. There it is, his spell. 4 overs, no maidens, 2 for 22. Just to have him back with ball in hand for the team in green, a real bonus for them. And he'll be really pleased to contribute today. So it's great to see him back, and even better to see him taking a couple of wickets there. That could be a crucial moment in this game.
Yeah, absolute credit to Getkate in the way he's come back and bowled today. He was looking really sharp in warm-up, but to see him in the game and contribute the way he has is something special for the individual and for the Warriors themselves. Next in for Northern Knights, Ben Callets.
Scott Macbeth back on again. Another dot ball. Ben Callets on debut here. Muckamore Cricket Club. They're back in the NCU Premier League this year. No small due to Ben Callets last year. Helped them get promotion. He'll be playing Premier League cricket this year. That's that same shot again. Is it wide of the fielder? It is. And can't be brought in. McCollum gets a 4. Not without risk though.
Confirmation of the new batter. Ben Cullitz. South African born, but has played under 19 for Canada. Macbeth continues.
Just be one. Caramelli again doing good work down there. Yeah, with that loss of Neil Rock, really Ryan Pretorius to come next. Obviously opened the batting for quite a long time for the Knights. You know, a few of the bowlers who can certainly bat, but really 93 for 4, haven't passed the 100, and we're into the last quarter of the innings. Callets to face his first ball, slip in. Calls
two, yeah.
Gives James McCullum a bit of a hurry up there. I'm sure he'll not like that. Haven't been out there since the first over. Yeah, but a good call actually from Ben Callett. Saw it earlier. And back for 2.
Scott Macbeth just opting to come around the wicket to the left-hander. And he's bowled him. That's a peach of a delivery from Scott Macbeth. And he's got his first now. And Callitz goes for 2 off just 2 deliveries.
Yeah, well bowled from Scott Macbeth. Just see bowls with that height, lots of height. And just targets that leg stump. Not sure it kept low. Callitz sort of suggesting there that the way he played the shot, but just cramped him for room. Was looking to play that same shot into the offside. Cramped him for a little bit of room. Just skidded on through. And Callitz has gone for 2 from 2. That does bring that man, Ryan Pretorius, to the crease. And you can see on screen there, if you watch James McCullum there, sort of actioning to Ryan Pretorius about the off cutters and coming across the ball, possibly from the seamers and indeed the spinners. So, as I say, a couple of bowlers now. Tom Mays can give it a whack, Taryn Cohen. But, you know, with now 5 down and 95 just on the board here, they can't really run the risk of losing a couple more wickets. The Knights, Macbeth to Pretorius. They're up already.
Fired into the pads. Pretorius, you're right about the fact that although he's known more as a bowler, he can certainly bat. He's somebody who's got a first-class 150 under his belt. And that's final ball of the over. 95 for 5 of the Knights through 16 overs. 4 overs to play. Not quite going at a run of ball.
Yeah, you've got to be really impressed with what the Warriors have done here. Bowled to their field. And the Knights just haven't been able to respond at any stage during this innings so far. As we've talked about on numerous occasions with T20, 1-2 overs can change momentums a lot, but it's going to take something miraculous here that we haven't seen so far from the Northern Knights. It's going to get them to a total out of the Warriors' reach. That's highly unlikely now, so certainly something to bowl at. Or bat, sorry, for the Warriors. They're going to have a decent total to chase here. And Ryan Macbeth is going to come back. He'll probably bowl 17 and 19, you would think. And he's going to bowl to James McCullum on 47. Again, manages to pick out the man on that short leg side. And again, when we've talked about it already, not really targeting that short boundary. I'm not sure we've seen a ball disappear over there at all. No. It's all been the other side of the ground.
Pretorius takes guard. And Macbeth. Early call. Column sent back. He was eager to get down the other end on 48. Exactly half of the Knights' total so far. 96 for 5 are the Knights.
Three men, in fact 4, stationed on the leg side, all on the boundary. So happy to let them take one into that leg side. It's been given as a wide. Probably a little bit of a think about it. Tried that slower off cutter into the pitch. Yep, just a really strange innings from the Knights so far. Oh, and that they'll be get 2.
They should have got 2, and they'll get 1.
Good hustle from Kate again. Must have had his Weetabix this morning, I think. He definitely has, because he's been, as you mentioned, his warm-ups were fairly vigorous, and he's got through 4 overs, but still chasing in from the boundary there.
Well, that's what a wicketkeeper does, to try to convince the umpire not to call wide, and there was nothing that the keeper could do to prevent that from being called wide as Beth strays.
I think we've actually got to the stage now where it's going completely full circle, that if you do appeal, the umpire thinks, well, that's just a silly appeal, I'm just going to give a wide. That could be in the gap this time. No.
Oh.
Kate again. Good bit of fielding. Excellent piece of fielding. Stops the boundary. Brings up the 100. It's been a long time coming for the Northern Knights.
Macbeth just a little too straight with this delivery, and McCollum looking to get that boundary to bring up the 100 and indeed take himself to 50. He gets to 49, but get Kate on the boundary. Excellent, sprints around and collects just before the boundary rope. 1 or 2 balls to come in the 17th over. Just a little bit of a change in the field. Jared Wilson being pushed back onto the boundary square on the offside. Well, that's a wild thrash, and it's going to be rewarded with 4 runs. Well, that was certainly not quite controlled from Pretorius, but he'll take the additional 4.
Well, we'll definitely take the boundary there, but again, not in control of the shot. Bit of width offered up from Macbeth, more than a little bit of width, I suppose. Looking at it again, and you'll get your value for runs down there with those kind of edges at this time of the innings. Much needed boundary for Pretorius, and the Knight could really do with them going back to back here. Yeah, pulls out.
Well, there's a gentleman walking in front of the side screen, and quite right from Pretorius to...
Yeah, a bit of a problem out here, obviously. I think we need a few signs up here. Good to see people in the ground, but do need to follow a little bit of etiquette here. Macbeth will try again off this last ball of the 17th. And Pretorius has tried. Has he got enough on it? Looks like he has. Yes, that short boundary. It's the first real shot in anger we've seen down to that short boundary. And he's not gone back-to-back 4s, but he's gone 4-6. And you see Kate has realised that it was over his head and into the tents. Finishes 4-6 in the over. And 2 much-needed boundaries for the Knights.
So 110 for 5 with 3 overs to go. Knights, maybe this will kickstart a late onslaught. The column on 49 will face up to McBride in this 18th over.
Yeah, really surprised that there hasn't been more targeting of that shorter boundary. You know, it's, as I say, it's the first real time we've commented about the ball sort of being played in that area. And here's McBride.
There's the 50.
Going to come back for 2.
McCollum safely back. 51 and is politely applauded by those at the ground. Pretorius makes his way down to the opposite end. Quick bump of gloves. It's been a measured innings. A strike rate of under 100. 5 boundaries in McCollum's 51. He's rotated the strike nicely at times, but importantly he's been at the crease for the Knights, who've lost regular wickets.
Yeah, I think he's been searching a little bit today. Rather like his teammates, nobody's really timed the ball that well. And that could be what we talked about at the very start with the wicket. Maybe it's a little bit slow. As I say, we'll see that in the second innings, but he's still there, as you say. Well bowled again from McBride. He stepped down to that one nicely, got to the pitch, knocks it over, a long on boundary for 6. Just a little bit of impetus here for the Knights.
That's a glorious stroke from McCollum. Got everything behind that. Sent that over long on for a glorious 6.
Yep, Paul Stirling's father, Brian, there he is, in the white hat. Just on your screen very briefly there. It's down in that area. Giving up and finding that one. It's clear defence. So it'll be the first time we've seen the new box of balls coming out today.
Indeed. Just to mention here of Sam Topping, who's brought some water out. Turned 19 on Monday. He's maybe got an opportunity to get some game time in over this double-header. Interprovincial trophy match today between Knights and Warriors. Tomorrow it'll be Knights and Warriors in the Interprovincial Cup. With Neil Rock going on international duty, maybe Topping gets a look in.
Yeah, I think being a keeper, he may get a look in tomorrow. Be good to get a look at him for sure. Definitely giving McCollum a bit of help with his helmet.
2 individuals with gloves on. Doheny having to get his gloves off to help McCollum. All sorted. McCollum to continue. Just takes the single. Brian, 1 to go to finish his spell. And Pretorius, I get a feeling he's likely going to go for it. And this time doesn't. Rotates the strike, turns his wrist nicely over the shot and just gets the one. He'll be on strike to begin the 19th over. 122 for 5 are the Knights. 2 overs to play.
Yeah, good spell from Andy McBride. There you see it, 4 overs, no maidens for 29. And that wicket, I'm fairly certain, was his 50th in T20 cricket. IP T20 cricket here. Exclusively, of course, for the Warriors. So just going at 7.25, and you know, he'll certainly take that from his spell. Perfect scenario for him there. Bowls well in situations like that. As I say, stump to stump. And lets the batters make the mistakes. So we got 2 to go here. And really need a big finish here if the Knights are going to set an imposing target. I think the Warriors will be more than happy with their performance so far. Ram Macbeth, the bowl of Pretorius. Targeting that. Yeah, I think Pretorius has got the memo for sure.
Comes striding down the crease, down the wickets, and well out of his crease, and sends that ball to the boundary rope. Certainly some intent. Begins the 19th over with a solid boundary.
And does Macbeth go even wider? He does. You have to say that's well bowled in effect, because you can see Pretorius is really eyeing up the shorter boundary. Macbeth, that probably would have been well wide of the mark, but because Pretorius is a good 2-3 feet to his offside, means he has to play that to the field on the offside. So well bowled by Macbeth.
McCollum looking for that ramp shot. Came to the crease in the first over when Rossadair was bowled by Ryan Macbeth. A steady innings that he's built through. Certainly grown a little in confidence. Look at the guard that Pretorius is taking here. Standing right across his stumps.
Yeah, I'd say that would be a difficult one for the umpire because it's outside off.
Oh.
In the slot. You have to say that was in the slot. We can see this again. I think Pretorius would like this one back. In the arc.
Just looked like a little movement away.
Yep. But I think we're fairly certain about what Ryan Pretorius is trying to do here.
Gloriously struck, and that'll race away over the boundary. Ryan Pretorius goes to 22.
Yeah. Just a bluff and double bluff there, really. Took that off stump guard, but kind of held his position. Blitzed it through the offside for 4. Nice piece of fielding. One of the spectators there. Yeah, good technique. Here we go, Macbeth again. That's carved into that leg side. Hasn't really got the hold of it, but McCollum's going to come back for 2. Going at Pretorius' end. A long throw back from there from Macbeth, though. 2 from the last ball. 12 from that last over for Ram Macbeth. 1 for 33 for him. There you see his figures, and again, Warriors will probably be happy with that. 134 for 5 going in to the last over of the innings.
Things starting to come right for the Knights batters late on, just upping the run rate significantly. Macbeth, who started the innings so well, took that early wicket in the opening over, bowling Rossadair for a duck. 1 for 33, going at 8.25 and over. This last over, though, going for 12. 1 over to play in this night's innings. 134 for 5. We'll certainly be eyeing the 150 here, will the Knights?
Yeah, I think that's a good shout. 150 they might be content with. Obviously, we saw last week Warriors struggled with the bat. 150, I mean, a higher score they possibly would have looked at a few overs ago, but as I say, the momentum's come from Pretorius. He's striking at 200 at the moment. Can McCollum back him up here in this last over? Zimmerman to McCollum. Slower ball into the pitch. McCollum happy to give the strike to Pretorius here by the look of it. Just stretching an hamstring. Don't need any more hamstring injuries. The Knights obviously missing very influential Morgan Topping. Still not back. Now Pretorius, where's his area? He's gone offside. Turns down the single. So a dot ball. Long on, long off back. And that's exactly where it's heading. For me, that's a poor ball.
Yeah, that's in the arc and out the park. Plain and simple. Pretorius got behind this beautifully. Yeah,
I think it's just put there really. Wasn't really bowled by Zimmerman. Just sort of floated that one up, and in this sort of mood, Rion Pretorius isn't going to turn that down. And I mentioned about long on and long off. Didn't really matter. It was well back into the trees. Now a little bit of pressure on the bowler. Probably into the pitch here now, I would think. Does so.
Scramble for two.
McCollum's coming back. One-handed pick up. He's gone to the keeper's end. Pretorius well happy with that. You can see him giving the sign to his partner. A good two. He's keen to be on strike here, Rion Pretorius.
2 balls to come in the innings. 143 for 5. Oh, the Knights.
That'll be another 2, I would think. Column's still going well. Misfield. Happy with the 2. Yeah, but those last 2 balls, Dwayne, I think you're going to see a lot of that. Rion Pretorius will be going back to Simon Johnson and telling him that those last 2 balls bowled into the pitch. Difficult to time the ball, whereas the ball before floated up out of the park, easily to time. So I think you'll definitely see the conversation during the break that into the pitch is difficult to play by the look of it. Last ball. And there it is. And as I say that,
put away. So the target will be 150, 149 for 5. The Knights conclude their innings as Pretorius ends with a sterling 38 of just 17 balls. McCollum is unbeaten on 61. At quicker than a runner ball. Zimmerman ends his spell 0 for 35. That last over going for 15.
Yeah. Just those last couple of overs have taken the Knights up, but a difficult innings for them. Just got stuck in the middle overs. Didn't have a boundary from the sort of 6th over for quite a while, and just rotating singles and didn't really target that boundary we've talked about. But they've got themselves a competitive total, 149, and there will be conversations now between the batters, the coaching staff, and the bowlers as to what sort of length and pace to bowl on this track, and it won't be easy by any means for the Northwest Warriors. They've struggled so far with the bat, but they've got plenty good batters in their lineup. There's the Knights card in front of you, as we mentioned. Rossett there again going in the first over for naught. Egan and McCollum set about recovery, and then the first real shot that Egan tried to play, he was caught. McCollum stayed the whole inning. Carmichael backed him up. Rockencallits went early, but it was really that 38 off 17 at the death from Rion Pretorius that really give the Northern Knights innings a little bit of momentum towards the end. and took them up to that 149 for 5. Their partnerships, say very little at the top, that wide at the start, and then a decent partnership between Egan and McCollum, but nothing in the power play really spectacular, but laid the platform. 36 from Carmichael and McCollum, but there's that 54 partnership at the end from McCollum and Pretorius, with the majority coming from Ruan Pretorius.
Bowling figures, Macbeth 1 for 33 at the start. Getkate, a spectacular return to bowling, 2 for 22. Wicket off his final delivery as well, 1 for 29 for Captain McBrien. And Scott Macbeth from his 2 overs, 1 for 13. A fantastic return. McKeegan going an 8.5 and over, and no wickets for Zimmerman. He finished with 0 for 35 from his 4. So the target is set. 150 will be enough to win it, as the Knights take on the Warriors here at the Ward in Stormont. An innings break now. We'll be back at 5:10. Welcome back to Northern Knights against Northwest Warriors at the Ward Stormont. This is the Interprovincial Trophy fixture. 20 over innings and 149 for 5 the Northern Knights managed to post. With 5 overs to play though, they were under a run of ball, but they managed to get a decent total on the board, and the target of 150 now for the Northwest Warriors to chase. After Andy McBrien won the toss and opted to field first, he would have been delighted with the way his side bowled, certainly in the earlier stages. But the Knights just starting to pull away in the closing stages of their innings. The Warriors will begin the chase here at the Ward in Stormont with the target of 150, so 7.5 and over. As Ruan Pretorius prepares to open the bowling after a splendid 38 of 17 to finish the Knights' innings. And Stephen Doheny and Gavin Ralston have made their way out to the crease. We could keep a batter. Doheny on strike. Firmly into the covers, but happy to field Matthew Humphreys.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting hour and a half or so here. 150 usually would be fairly attainable down the track from Doheny, but just looking at that ball, it's kind of what we're talking about. The pitch does look a little on the slow side. You would completely expect, given the fact that it's really the first game of cricket that's really been on it this season with the weather. So both captains said at the toss it was an unknown factor. So maybe a little bit slow. We'll watch those off cutters. That's well bowled. A little bit of shape from Pretorius. So we mentioned in the first innings and that it was a slow going from the Knights at times. Boundaries weren't coming, but we did throw that proviso in that it always got to see both teams batting on it to see the sort of pitch and see how it's playing, and it does look on the slow side, as we've mentioned a few times.
Again, some movement away. 2 balls to go and no runs as yet.
Yeah, just shaping away from Pretorius. Outside that channel. I don't think it'll be too long before Doheny decides to come down the track, trying to get that little bit of swing. As always, that brings its own risks. Just gonna take slip out. Possibly a little bit surprising given the swing on offer there. He's going to put a man in it. Well, it's really at 45. Nicely bowled again. Width for Doheny.
This is an excellent first over. 5 dot balls to start. Ruan Pretorius will certainly have some confidence going into this opening spell following his incredible batting. Handful of sixes in that 38 unbeaten. Oh, made it over to start. This is a sensational bit of bowling from Ruan Pretorius.
Yeah, and we'd gone through that whole Northern Knights innings saying they were struggling to get the ball away, but immediately there's an over that has been ticked away with no runs on it. So really now the Warriors chase down to a 19 over chase, so that just adds another 7, 8, 9, 10 runs on the total effectively for the Knights. So real great start for them. For Pretorius, a little bit of movement early on. Didn't say it'll last too long, but certainly in that over.
Doesn't get any easier though for the Warriors, as a man who's been in some really good form at the moment. Tom Mays has ball in hand, prepares to bowl to Gavin Ralston.
Yeah, interesting selection. Ralston at the top of the order. Liam Dockley left out today. That's a good start. Yeah, it was interesting to see who would go up, seeing as Doherty wasn't playing. He opened in the 3 games last week. So it's interesting to see if he wasn't in the team who was going to step up. Ralston coming in for this double header. He's been sent in to open with Doheny.
Still no runs off the bat, and we're 8 balls into this innings. And these two sides meet in a 50-over fixture tomorrow as the Interprovincial Cup gets underway. And this Interprovincial Trophy tie looked like it had been teed up very nicely as Northern Knights got their way to 149 for 5, but this is an excellent start from the Knights bowlers. Some runs off the bat. And a quick single. That ball was worked out to Matthew Foster.
Yeah, first run off the bat by the 9th ball. So, really good there.
Yeah, Mays took 4 for 28 in the first meeting between these sides this season. As the Knights won by 7 wickets.
Strange anomaly that, though. If I remember that game, he wasn't the pick of the bowlers, though. Just managed to get the wickets. Was the most expensive, but took the 4 wickets. But as you sort of said, there'll be just a leg by here. As you sort of said, Dwayne, he's been on form. He's taken wickets regularly. 10 wickets, I think, last week.
Yeah, four to start against the Knights, against the Warriors, and then 3 apiece.
Yeah,
against Leinster and Munster.
Certainly you want that from your Premier bowlers. Wickets are key in this format. So even they're going a little bit extra, certainly taking wickets. There'll just be one again. Ben Callett's coming in from the boundary just to keep that back to 1. So certainly terrific start from the Knights here. If this ball doesn't go for a boundary, really that will be an excellent start for them. Slip coming out into regulation mid wicket. 2 boundary raiders are on the square.
Doheny goes high. He's gone over the fielder who's chasing back. That's an excellent chase in the end, but unable to get underneath the ball.
I think that's Harry Dyer on the pitch there, I think.
Yeah, it looked like...
yeah. So on subfielding possibly. See Sam Topping's out there as well, so... a great effort, you have to say. You can see how high that ball went. You can see him straight off after it. I thought it was well over his head, but when it came down, it's only a half yard short there of getting an attempt. So great effort, keeps it to 2. A really good start from the Knights. Warriors just ticking along to 5 without loss from those 2 overs.
Importantly for Doheny, getting off the mark. Having faced 7 deliveries without scoring. It's now 2 off 8. Austin to face Pretorius as he begins his second over.
Yeah, that's pretty close. Just going to say what would Pretorius bowl here is predominantly bowling the Doheny in the last over, just bowling outside that off stump and letting the shape just take it away from him. I was just thinking, would he bowl the same sort of ball to the left-hander, target the stumps, exactly what he did there, and that was a whisker away.
Left-hander, just taking a step down the pitch.
Yeah, I'm just seeing to my right here out of physio tent, James McCullum. Just come out of the tent, get a little bit of treatment. Hopefully nothing too serious, just a little bit of fatigue maybe from that sort of batting effort that he had earlier, so hopefully that's not an injury. As well bowled again from Pretorius. He was sort of tweaking at his hamstring late on in that innings, so maybe just a little bit of a precaution. As I say, he's not on the field.
Yes, Harry Dyer, currently subfielder for McCollum after that fine 61. Pretorius, meanwhile, has bowled 9 balls and has yet to concede a run. No extras, no leg buys, wides, no balls, nothing off the bat. But a good, disciplined bowling effort. And as I say that, he's flicked away for 4. It's a little ramp shot from Ralston, just spins around and flicks that up over his stumps. It looked to be just about on target as well. Brave effort, but it brings 4 to the score.
Yeah, I think it was bang on target, in fact, and he's got a little piece on that. It was enough, though, and we saw James McCollum play on that a few times. Didn't manage to get the bat on it. Ralston, though, was under a little bit of pressure there. 3 dot balls. That's changing the field. The man from deep backward point comes up. Harry Dyer goes back on that boundary just to prevent that shot, and they're just really ringing up the field here. 5 on the offside now. Was wide. John probably thinks that that's inside the line, though. Gavin Ralston giving himself a little bit of room as well outside. Like Stump to try and hit it over the offside. There is no boundary rider on the offside now, but 5 in the ring.
Play and a miss to end the over. 9 without loss through 3 overs. The Warriors in reply to the 149 for 5. Another excellent over from Pretorius. It's only 1 scoring ball from his opening 2 overs, and that went to the boundary for 4. An innovative shot from Ralston. Still a youngster, turns 18 on the 16th of June. But another player who's showed his prowess at youth international level. Had a really good under-19 World Cup in South Africa. That good 82 that he made against New Zealand, was it, in Bloemfontein? And that crushing win over New Zealand. We're going to see a change in the bowling here as Foster comes on. So just the 1 over then for Mays. Foster replaces him at the City end.
Again, not timed. Just be 2.
That's Sam Topping, another subfielder. Reels it in towards Rock.
Yeah, just trying to work out the other Knight that's maybe not on the field at the moment.
Foster won't mind that. Don't mind seeing the batter have a big swing at it. But the slip is coming out now. Also there, just being shifted into mid-wicket position. Another big swing and a miss.
Yeah. We mentioned about the dot balls eaten up early on for the Knights when they struggled to get away. It's been even a little worse here for the Warriors so far. Lots of dot balls. Just, and as I said earlier, just effectively strengthen up that target. No timing again.
What this is doing is it's taken the required run rate now up to over 8.5 an over, and they started at 7.5 an over. We're under 4 overs in.
Yeah, I just thought this power play was quite important because watching the between innings there, it may take some spin as well. It's nicely bowled from Foster again, just nice and tight. No width for Doherty to utilise. 4 more dot balls in this 4th over.
Yeah, it'll be nothing short of concerning that the Warriors have had so few scoring deliveries.
Down the track, but he's hit that straight up in the air.
Khalitz with a great catch. Gets underneath it. And Doherty's gone. It's been an innings in which he's struggled to get going. And ultimately, he ends the over pretty much as he started. And that's swinging at Foster, who's got his first. And indeed, the innings first. Northwest Warriors lose their first batter. Doherty caught Khalitz. Ball by Foster for 4.
Yeah, difficult innings there. Stephen Doherty never really got going at all. Decent bowling, similar to the Warriors at this up front at him, but he never really got going there and skewed that one as he attempted to come down the wicket and just skewed it to the man at the deep point. Khalitz coming in off the boundary. Very comfortable catch, 4 from 14. You can see it, strike rate rarely seen in T20 cricket. So he goes, Stephen Doherty, and the first wicket falls on 11.
So Jared Wilson makes his way to the crease. Somebody who's got the ability to make some telling runs, a Cliftonville Academy player.
Yeah, played in the Northwest up until last year. New buildings, switched down to the NCU to play for Cliftonville Academy. And Tom Mays going to now bowl from this Dundonald end. That's a beautiful delivery. However,
no ball.
Stepped, and umpire Burley has given a no ball. So yeah, just I think it's from we saw the grouping of the Knights after that wicket. I think it's Jake Egan who's not on the pitch. So Egan and McCollum currently not on. Here we go on the free hit. Nice to Rolston. No timing again. And if Tyrone Cohen had a picked that up cleanly, it might have been one of those unforgivable run-outs off a free hit. So Jared Wilson faces first ball, sent in as a little bit of a pinch hitter for the Warriors last week. Will he play the same way?
Mays with another terrific delivery, right on the mark, and going sharply onto the ball.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see which way Wilson plays here, because as I say, he was sent in to try and up the momentum last week at 3. And, you know, given the situation that the Warriors are finding themselves in now, almost, you know, just an over and a half of the power play left, 13 for 1. He would have been the one you'd have been saying, if he can get a quick 30 or 40 and really bite into the target and let the rest play around. But you know, he's really going to have to come off now. His bowling good though, nice and tight. Cone again.
Yeah, given the circumstances, his 39 against the Lightning was a pretty good innings in the end. He needs something similar today, at the very least, it seems, to get the Warriors back into this game. There's far too many dot balls in the power play. 13 for 1 through 4.5 overs are the Warriors. Chasing 150, that'll be a single. Wilson off the mark. But the required run rate is nearly 9 and over. So Mays hopes to go round the wicket, and Alston trying again with that little ramp shot, and this time, fortunately for the teenager, the ball has missed the wickets, but
yeah, you've mentioned about doubles, and while I was a little bit quiet, I was trying to count them up. I think we're in the 20 now, and
well, Pretorius has 11 from his 12 balls have been dot balls.
Yeah, I think we're up around the 20 area already. So into the offside, and that'll be another one, unless, yep.
Oh, overthrows. You were about to call that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's going to be two, and Tom Mays is not a happy camper there. Yeah, that was just a dot ball, really, and I know I called it early, but it should have been, just a wild throw from Matthew Humphreys, not backed up, so two poor pieces of cricket in the field, really. No need to throw it, and then not backed up. Costs Tom Mays those 2 runs at the end. Yeah, it would have been another very tight over. Still is, but those extra 2 runs. I'm sure the Knights will be hoping, Matthew Humphreys will be hoping it doesn't come down to a close game at the end.
Certainly not shaping up to be. 5 overs down. We're a quarter of the way into this chase. And it's 16 for 1. Northwest Warriors.
Yeah, we're in the last over of the power play here. Will Jared Wilson try and go big? Nicely bowled.
Nicely taken as well by
Yeah.
Rock. Slightly wide throw back in, and as Foster continues after that success in his opening over. Single off his first.
See a few people coming in here just at the end of the working day. He's coming in to watch a little bit of IP20 cricket. No timing again from Ralston, similar to Egan and McCollum at the top of the Knights order. No real timing. Would indicate that the pitch is a little bit slow, not coming on to the bat. Again, fairly understandable. Khaled should get that out on the boundary. Does. Just one. So yeah, both innings sort of following a similar pattern here, except the Knights were able to tick over in terms of 1s and 2s, maybe not getting the boundaries, which the Warriors haven't been able to do so far.
Khaled's misfield. Just allows Wilson to get back for the second. But a deliberate shot, looking to go wide of Khaled's. Foster bowling over the wicket at the right-hander and round at the left-hander. Yeah, it's a good comeback. Comes away off the previous ball and then just puts it outside. Similar sort of channel, but maybe a little extra pace. Bit of a wild swing from Wilson.
Last ball of the power play here. Really the Warriors would have liked to put a real dent into the total. That's just going to drop short. Pretorius has missed it as well. Not going to get it. It's gone for 4. The ground fielding of the Knights not been great. A couple of misfields, unnecessary runs given away, and If they'd been on their mettle, that 24 for 1 could have been even less. As it is, boundary off the last ball of the power play. And the Warriors 24 for 1 from 6.
126 still to win from 14 overs that remain. That's 9 and over. Jared Wilson showing a little intent. We are going to see an intriguing bowling change by the Knights. Humphreys looks like he's coming into the attack.
Yeah, this could be quite interesting. He's been bowling really well recently. First 2 games last week really was on target. And in the 3rd game against the Lightning, you could almost see that it was kind of that the Lightning decided that this was the guy we needed to take out of the attack, and they really took after him. But he bowled 3 overs for plenty, but a lot of bowlers would have hid. He didn't, and he came back for his 4th over and wanted the ball, which was a really good sign. This wicket might suit him a little bit better. He'll be bowling into the left-hander, who decides to go for the reverse sweep straight away. Yeah, deep mid wicket, long on, long off. Steps away, doesn't time it at all. The ball just about reached the circle there. He stepped away to try and play against the spin.
He's had a couple of steady seasons his past couple of campaigns as Humphreys. I do like the variation that he provides. That left arm variation. Slip comes in.
Yeah, his variations have been good recently. Just the pace wise. Always a real skill for spin bowlers to pick up the pace of a wicket really quickly and learn what pace am I bowling on this. Is it a slow pitch? Do I need to get the ball through the air? I need to do that really quickly, especially in a T20 game. Work out what pace to bowl at. And he's been really good at that lately. As we saw on that Wolves tour, I think he mentioned a few times he could have taken the wicket around the world with him. It spun, but had a good pace on it, so the spin was quick. And he took Manny's a wicket, a couple of man of the match awards. Down the track, and he's got it in the gap. Tom Mays does really well. Thought he'd ran round it, but manages to get a big mitt on it and pulls it back. Yeah, this is not going to be easy for the left-hander, and indeed the right. Yeah, he thought that had gone for 4. You can see there, Ralston giving up at the end of the run. Thought it had gone for 4. He's back on strike now with just 2 for that shot. And a dot ball. I'm going to call it this time.
Solid
to
ending.
finish.
Solid ending from Humphreys. After that great work from Mays on the boundary. The ball before 28 for 1 through 7. Target of 150.
Yeah, I think Humphreys is going to be a bit of a challenge here. Does look as if it's taken a little bit of turn. Not the quickest deck in the world, and he's on target there. So you can see the scoreboard. It's getting a little bit overcast here. Sun gone behind the clouds which have come over. Don't think of any problem with the weather right now.
The Warriors have a little bit of a problem with the scorecard. 28 for 1 they are through 7, chasing 150. Tyrone Kun makes his way on now to bowl. So back to some seam. Just throwing a little down leg. And that'll be leg buys. Or one leg buy.
Yeah, Darren Cohen, type of bowler that bowls into the pitch. So, again, I would suggest that probably coaching staff will be telling him if you are going to bowl into the pitch, maybe try and take a little bit of pace off it. It's very difficult to time, as we've seen throughout the day. That's on pace. No, taking the pace off that one. Got that through. And a good lick.
Ralston just giving himself a little too much room there. Allowing an escape route for the bowler. And Kun happy to bowl in that channel that isn't wide, but certainly wider than the batter could reach.
Again, no timing. Down to long on. Pretorius there. Just on the side, I see James McCullum back on the pitch. So he's returned. So I would suggest that hamstring niggle isn't really a problem. He's coming into the covers.
Fired that in at the stumps. Wilson works it out to Mays. Again, not quite as well timed as he would have hoped.
Yeah, you can see Cohen coming in there, big strapping bowler. Likes to use a bit of muscle when he's getting to the crease.
Bowled him.
There you go. One too many from Ralston. Only real shot that he's got boundaries from so far. Struggled to time the ball. It's always a risk. You don't make contact. Colin just knock back the leg stump.
Very little bit of movement there from Kun. Perhaps that upset Ralston, but he's on his way for 14 of 23.
Yeah, not easy. Not easy to come in. Sort of not had too much cricket recently. Be thrown in to an interprovincial series. And obviously the level just steps up, and just find it difficult to work it around there, Gavin Ralston, but he's definitely on his side okay. So we see Kane Hilton has come out at 4. And once again, like we said last week, now 2 Cliftonville Academy players playing for the Northwest Warriors here. So they'll see plenty of the team they're playing today during league games in the Northern Cricket Union. Hilton showed glimpses during last week of his ability. Didn't really kick on. He'll definitely need to today.
Actually got a really decent looking 22 against the self-same opponents as Kuhn ends with a ball that beats the bat. 31 for 2 after 8 are the Warriors, whose required run rate now is nearly 10 and over as they chase down this target of 150.
Yeah, it's ticking up quite quickly now. Again, just 3 off that last over plus the wicket. Yeah, you were talking about Gavin Ralston had a good World Cup. Kane Hilton actually top scored for Ireland in terms of the aggregates. He played well against Bangladesh and looked pretty good. And just last week even, just his energy in the field, and when he came to the crease, good running between the wickets. Brought that energy for somebody that was on debut last week, so good signs early. Back to Matthew Humphreys here. As I say, he could be quite challenging here for Wilson initially.
Oh,
it's in the air. Could be 6 though in that short boundary, and is. Hit that straight into the Knight's tent. The ball pops out. This was the one thing that we said, that short boundary could be targeted. Goes the ball spinning away there. Just got enough on that. Say straight into the Knight's tent there. Dispensed with the slip.
So how does the bowler respond? Going for a 6 off the opening ball. Humphreys.
Well run. Yeah, well run. Thought he could have been a bowler there.
Cian Hilton pushing hard for that single. Ball to his side. His opportunity to get off the mark. Will just take his guard. Wilson up to 17. It was 10 at the start of the over. And that's 6. Certainly something that is well required from the Warriors from here on in. Some big hitting. That required run rate has been steadily sneaking up. Hilton off the mark. Humphreys fields off his own bowling. Just a well taken single. And Jared Wilson back on strike. He's got the ability to play some big shots, Jared Wilson. This really could be his opportunity to show just what he has in his batting arsenal.
Yeah, he's been last couple of years for the Warriors in and out of the side, and then when he was playing, coming in 6-7 for the last sort of few overs, but this season being promoted to 3. And hasn't looked out of place, I have to say. Yeah, it's beautifully bowled. Really nice.
A little extra pace there from Humphreys. Just get it through a little quicker. Milton didn't have much of an opportunity to get that away. Just moving the field around, looks like a deep point at the moment. And a solid way to end. 2 dot balls, 40 for 2 through 9 overs. On the Warriors chasing down a target of 150. Required run rate is now exactly 10.
Nice round numbers, Dwayne. That's what we like. Nice round numbers are good. Yeah, 4.44 is the current run rate. And as you see, the 3 hours sitting at exactly 10 now. 150 needed. There's the old worm, and we were quite critical about the Knights in the first innings about lack of boundaries, but you can see after these 9 overs, well ahead, similar wickets. Darren Cohen going to continue.
Into the pads. It's a good call from Hilton. Wilson was wondering initially where the ball had gone. Hilton makes the call, and they've got the leg by to start the over. Or one, maybe a little inside edge.
Just one more. Tucked into the leg side, just for 1. Again, I'll be happy with this.
Yeah, good. Just straying a little down leg. Lucky to get away with that. And the leg by, adding to the Warriors' total. 42 for 2 now. But into the 10th over.
quick single. If it hits, if it hits, he was definitely gone. And even with the collection from Ruck, he was almost run out. Direct hit was a definite goner there.
Hit so firmly. Straight to the fielder, who gets it in really quickly.
Well bowled. Go on. So, Kane Hilton go a little bit early there for the ramp shot. Just followed him across, and in the end, tried to reverse ramp it, and didn't get anything on it. So, well bowled the bowler. Good awareness.
Hilton again trying to scoop the ball away, but this time just stuns the ball.
Yeah, you can just see more experienced Darren Wilson just going down, having a chat, calming him down.
Torren Kun was one of the standout schoolboys in South Africa in years gone by, educated at Westville Boys, went on to play for KwaZulu-Natal at youth level. Very, very highly regarded.
It's well bowled again. Last 3 balls, he just mixed it up there really well. Excellent stuff from Cohen. Plays his trade. And the Northern Cricket Union at CIYMS had a good season last year. And with the Knights. So, again, he'll be looking something similar this season. He started really well here. Just the 5 runs from his 2 overs. And the wicket of Ralston.
So, 10 overs remaining. Warriors are halfway through their innings, and they still require another 106, having only managed 44 from the opening 10. Run rate at 4.4, but the required run rate now over 10.
Matthew Foster replaced Matthew Humphreys from the Dundonald end. Not a great start. No, just about came out of the hand. Yeah, just an issue that we've sort of highlighted last week as well about the Warriors, about where's the power hitting coming from here. You know, you see Hilton already looking for deflections, etc. Bar really Jared Wilson in that innings against the Lightning. Hasn't really been anybody who looks in that power hitting mode. Shane Getgate would have been one we'd have looked to, but he's been out of form, I have to say, recently. So just looking at somebody who's going to score at 10 and over. We just really haven't seen it so far from the Warriors. That's why at the minute, certainly the situation would favour the home side Northern Knights.
Just putting it between 2 fielders, but Pretorius will get round and manages to bring it under control. 2. Wilson moves to 22. Didn't have enough power behind it to get it all the way to the rope, but he did bisect the fielders, which gave him the opportunity to run a second.
Pace on ball.
Pitch,
yeah, pace on ball there. That will be the surprise ball, I think, given what we've seen. Hit rocks in the gloves there. A ball from Foster. He's going to continue here. Again, just less than 50 still on the board. That's in the offside, bit of work to do for Tom Mays. He is going to pull it in. A bit of support there. Wilson's going to call through for 3. Yeah, does so. Nice shot into the offside. Jared Wilson. Again, not perfectly timed, but good placement on this occasion. Change up here. Wary of that ramp again. Brings long on into mid on. Sends the man back on line. Fine leg. Playing a miss. Yeah. Young Hilton now. 3 off 10. Another overtakes by. 7 from it. Foster, another bowler. Going at less than a run a ball.
Significantly, you could argue that it's under 100 now to win for the Warriors, but also significantly is the required run rate. That is well over 10 and over. Indication of the run rate and how it's changed. And despite the fact that there's that cluster of 3 wickets around the 15th over for the Knights, their run rate absolutely spiked, courtesy of Ruan Pretorius' fine 38 of just 17. And you don't get a sense that the Warriors have somebody in their lineup that can provide that sort of pyrotechnics.
Well, we've seen glimpses of it from Scott Macbeth, and
yeah, he's unbeaten 21 recently. Yeah.
A little bit, and Cameron Melly's done well in the Northwest League, but perhaps not at this level. And we're back to Humphreys now. Again, just cloth down to long on. So you can sort of get the feeling here that the ball could come off a top edge here and go up in the air. Just given the pitch and the way it's playing, Humphreys bowling well.
A few more dot balls and the required run rate is going to be over 12. So the Warriors do need to make something happen for themselves. And they can only do that by targeting a bowler.
Yeah, I think that's it. It's going to be difficult given the conditions we've seen so far. Left arm spinner. Taking it away from the right hander. Difficult to target him. Especially now that he doesn't have the short boundary on the slug sweep. Down the track. Well bowled from Humphreys.
Certainly well bowled. Fired it in. A little extra pace. Again, the variations so impressive for Humphreys. He had to take a wicket in this innings, but he's bowled well. Hilton, this time's 1-2 long off. I'll take the single, bring Wilson back on strike. They're doing now what they needed to do earlier in the innings, and that's rotate the strike.
A little bit, yeah. Now, though, it's not enough. It's too late for rotate the strike, but you've got to get a boundary every so often now to sort of stay up with the run rate. And Wilson tries that. Tries the reverse sweep. But Humphreys is too good. Wilson's gone. Tried his utmost there. Tried to manipulate the field with that shot, but he's gone for 27.
Superbly bowled by Humphreys. And he gets just reward for what has been an excellent spell so far. Jared Wilson goes quicker than a runner ball, 27. But bowled by Humphreys. And unsurprisingly, it's Scott Macbeth who's going to make his way to the crease. 1 ball to go in the 12th over. Warriors in the spot of bother. Not so much in terms of wickets down, but certainly in terms of required run rate. But Jared Wilson played his hand. 27 of 23. The last batter out.
There he is, Scott Macbeth from Brigade. Anybody who was tuned in last week will have probably heard me moaning a little bit that I think Scott was batting too low last week. I still think, to be honest, he's probably a place low in the order. He came in at 7 at one stage last week. It's way too low for somebody of his ability. Now, just with the, as you mentioned, the run rate now approaching, if not over 12 already per over. For anybody coming in now, it's a real task. 1 ball to go in this, the 12th.
Beautifully bowled. And Humphreys can celebrate a wicket in his 3rd over. 1 for 17 from his 3. 55 for 3 through 12 overs on the Warriors in reply to the 149 for 5 that the Northern Knights posted. We've got 8 overs remaining. 95 still required. That's a run rate of nearly 12 and over. The Warriors, there were a couple of expansive shots played. Jared Wilson playing a few big strokes, a 4 and a 6 in his innings of 27.
Yeah, there's the Manhattan, and we sort of talked at this time in the Knights innings that there were no major sort of building works there. Those came in the last 4 overs, courtesy of Pretorius.
Mays.
Yeah, Mays indeed.
A successful bowler in the IP20 so far this campaign. He's 10 wickets in 3 matches today. No wickets so far for him, but he'll be looking for some success against the likes of Hilton and Macbeth. Scott Macbeth, yes, maybe coming down a place or two lower than you might expect, but also still needs to prove himself a little. Still only 19, the younger brother of Ryan, but a really good all-rounder in prospect is Scott Macbeth.
Yeah, I take your point there in terms of, he hasn't really put up the numbers maybe in the pro cricket that you would sort of expect eventually, but you mentioned there he is quite young, but just his demeanour, he played in the Under-19 World Cup, went on academy tours, played really well in Jersey recently. Just has got an all-round game. He could be in a bit of strife here though. Yeah, so he just his all-round game. He looks like he really enjoys the game, likes getting out on the park. Well, that sounds fairly obvious for a guy at this standard, but sometimes you see a few boys that don't really want to be out there. He gives off the impression that he wants to be involved in the game, batting, bowling, fielding. So I'd just like to see him thrown in at 4 now maybe. No boundaries coming off this over so far. Fairly similar to the Knights. The boundaries have dried up for some time now.
And the run rate is now over 12 and over. The required rate. He's got a very pleasing technique, is Scott Macbeth. And there's much to admire about his skill and ability all round, both bowling and batting.
Yeah, just on that tour, when I watched him, he played a lot of nice shots down the ground, and it was a good sign when a young player's playing straight down the ground. That's the shot up in the air. Got a bit on it, but alright, there's coming under it, but he's got enough of it. That breaks the shackles a little bit from Kane Hilton. Gets under it and gets enough. Talked about playing straight. Right on cue.
Right on cue. He shaped up to send that over the offside, but in the end, a glorious shot over the bowler's head. With enough distance on it to beat both substitute fielder Dyer and the boundary rope. 6 to end the over. So a positive 12 runs off the over for the Warriors. 67 for 3. Still need another 83 or 42 to win. They've got wickets in hand. It's whether or not they've got the ability to play those expansive shots, get those runs on a pitch that does seem to be a little slow. What that does, though, is it's just slowed things up for the batters who struggle to get their timing right. Man who makes his way back to the top of his mark is Ruan Pretorius, who's bowled 11 dot balls from his opening 2 overs. Here he comes to start his 3rd over, bowling to Scott Macbeth. Immediately cuts Pretorius.
And again, I think you'll see Pretorius just going through his repertoire here about generally bowling quite slow into the pitch. He was actually bowling leg spinners in the pre-game warm-up. Don't think he'd be bowling leggies. It's 2 from 2 out to James McCollum. He is on the cover boundary.
Pretorius, who bowls a really good off-cutter, and this is the kind of pitch that he could really make it count on. Hasn't got a wicket yet, but he's certainly not been conceding runs.
That's exactly what you're talking about, I think. Lots and lots of dot balls from Pretorius today. And they are just as much a commodity in T20 as wickets. He can bowl enough of them. He's up to 12 now from just the 15 balls, so that's not the worst, as they say.
This one worked away. There were initially calls of look for 2, but no opportunity to run 2. Hilton gets back on strike.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to know if the boys in the Ireland camp are tuned in here, especially the Leinster Lightning boys would have been watching today, hoping that the Warriors could maybe do them a favour in the table.
Ooh, he's got away with that. Maybe dug it in just a little too short, Pretorius, and was there to be hit by Hilton, who sees this just come off the toe end of the bat and almost straight back to the bowler.
Yeah, I think the snicker finished on Monday, didn't it? That was right off the Q-tip. He pulled the chalk out of the pocket there to fix the bat through that shot. Too canny. Pretorius there, trying the reverse because of the lack of pace he was bowling with, but 2 dots to finish, 3 more in that over from Pretorius, just the 3 singles as well, and really pretty decent figures for Ruan Pretorius. 3 overs, 1 main, none for 7 at the moment. That run rate with an over that's just going for 3 really jumps again.
80 required of the final 6 overs.
It's going to be a good watch, Dwayne. if 80 come from these last 6.
It'll be a glorious watch if indeed they do. But this is a very tough ask. Kun back into the attack. And Macbeth sends him over the rope at the short boundary. That's over the pavilion as well. An exquisite strike by Macbeth. The crack off the bat. So pleasing to the ear. Just a little too straight. And Macbeth takes full advantage.
Certainly the cleanest hit we've seen today. We've said how difficult it has been to time the ball, but Scott Macbeth has hit that clean over the pavilion. That's a really good hit on any ground.
New box of balls is out.
Yeah, that will be in the play park, I think. Over the top of the pavilion. Really nice. Was a little full, but as I say, Scott Macbeth has that ability. New ball back with the bowler. And a good start in these last 6.
We're over half the way to the target. Running out of balls here. Macbeth goes again. It's flat and it's over the boundary rope again. Another 6. So successive 6s for Scott Macbeth. He moves to 16 of just 8.
Yeah, Neil Rock's coming down from wicket-keeping position. Wouldn't be surprised to see the bowler come around the wicket here possibly and try and just bowl the ball across. Having a good chat about it now. Rock there, McCollum all having a chat. Looks like he's going to stay over.
That was after Mays had had a word as well. Yes, certainly the Brains Trust all coming together here. Consecutive 6s to start Kuhn's third over.
Yeah, possibly the length as well. Both of those were quite full.
Pretty full, yes.
I mean, that's been the conversation that drag your length back here. Will Scott Macbeth know that? Goes the opposite. Bowls it even fuller.
Not a bad result. Driven hard to Mays. Swoops down and pockets the ball fairly comfortably. Macbeth calls no early. He's only played a dozen or so T20 matches as Macbeth. And if he can find that breakthrough innings, then maybe this is his chance. He can build some confidence, find a little momentum, produce a scintillating season.
Yeah.
And suddenly things happen for you.
Absolutely. I mean, as I say, he's pretty much a certain pick now for the Warriors, you would think. So he's no longer really playing for his place. So he's got that sort of confidence behind him initially.
Yes.
It's just a matter of just a weight of runs now. It could be 2. Well fielded out on the boundary. Carmichael out there. He hasn't had much to do out there, but he's one of the quickest around. Gets around and keeps it to 1. So good comeback.
14 of the over so far. 1 ball to come, and Macbeth back on strike, who started the over with consecutive 6s.
Yeah, I think there's a big ball here. Macbeth can get the hold of 1 more at this end.
That's well bowled.
That is really well bowled. Just be 1. I think he's come out of that over pretty well. Tyrone Cohen went for 2 6s to start with, but just 3 singles to follow. And given where we're at, it's not a disaster for the Knights, which it could have been. A couple more would have really given them momentum going into these last 5. As it is, Scott Macbeth just maybe turning the tide a little bit.
So 85 for 3, the Warriors, in reply to Northern Knights 149 for 5, chasing 150. It's now about getting to the next target, which is the milestone of 100 runs on the scoreboard. 85 at the moment for 3 through 15 overs. Macbeth 18 off 11, 17 off 20, but Dohney struggled to find his timing in the early 4. Ralston 14. And then Humphreys chipped in with a wicket, and he's back to finish his spell. And bowled Scott Macbeth, trying the reverse sweep, and he's gone and missed it, played all around it, and Humphreys has his second, and it's come in almost identical fashion to his first wicket.
Yeah, we could put the replay up there of Ralston's wicket hitting the off stump, and the applause comes from his captain, just targeting the stumps. Humphreys really good that way, doesn't want to come too far away from the stumps, likes to bring in all forms of dismissal, and if the batsman wants to try something a little bit different, he's happy enough just to bowl straight.
An entertaining 18 off 12 for Scott Macbeth. Bowled by Humphreys means the Warriors are now 85 for 4, and that run rate continuing to climb as new batter Shane Gedkate makes his way out. He bowled really well, 2 for 22. Needs something special with the bat if the Warriors want to claim the victory here. And the 5 overs remaining. Shane Gedkate out of Phoenix.
Yeah, he's going to have to change it around here. Gedkate's been struggling with the bat recently. No better time for him to do it. Really powerful hitter, as we've mentioned. He can get going. He's the one guy that could really change this momentum. But he's been out of nick. And bowled from Humphreys.
Yeah, he's got some big shots when they come off Gedkate. But they need to come off. 85 for 4 through 15.2. That's 65 to win off 28. Humphreys 4 balls from the end of his spell, having started the over with a wicket. Bowling a dangerous looking Macbeth, Scott Macbeth.
Two is just straight away. Yep. Yeah, Humphreys got Gedkate in that opening game between these two in the festival. Playing back to a full ball, nicked it through to Neil Rock. I'm going to say we're really going for something similar with the slip in on the 16th over, but maybe sensibly now they've decided just to ring the field again. 3 balls left in the spell. Flat. Bit of work out there. Well done. O'May's out there. Does a really good job. Gets Hilton back on strike. Now, Ian Hilton's shown his willingness to play the reverse sweep and ramp off the seamers. He has seen 2 of his teammates fall to that reverse sweep to Humphreys. Will he be tempted to try and get it right? Oh, that's a poor ball. That's the first poor ball that he's bowled. And that's been absolutely hammered by Hilton. So no need to play a more difficult shot. When you bowl a ball like that, Hilton's taking full advantage.
As indeed. Humphreys just a little bit short and outside off, but pulled across by Hilton. And over the long boundary for 6.
Well over it too.
Down leg. This could get away. And
Yeah,
that's gone all the way to the boundary rope again. So add 4 to the tally.
Yeah, disappointing finish for Humphreys of his spell. Bowled really well up until those last 2 balls. First one really too short, and then the second one maybe as a cause of that, dragged down towards the leg side. Hilton got a little piece of it on his pad. Thankfully for him, it was just a tickle, didn't take any pace off it, and it went for 4.
So Humphreys finishes with 2 for 26, 98 for 4. Are the Northwest Warriors with 4 overs to play. They're chasing 150.
Just hanging in there, Dwayne. Just hanging in there.
They are. They're keeping it interesting. Certainly, they've hit 3 sixes in the last couple of overs, and needing 52 off 24 is a fairly mammoth task. Certainly on this pitch. Playing a little slower, but Foster makes his way back into the attack. He'll finish his spell.
As you say, just keeping it interesting. Foster to get Kate. Driven. Oh, straight at Tom Mays. He take that one in the shin.
Took it on the shin, he did.
Yeah.
Mays is a tall man, and that ball raced to him, needing to get down low.
Gingerly walks away. Oh, I fielded it, coach, I did.
Save 3.
He did.
Hilton back on strike. Throws the bat at that one. Hasn't got enough pace to beat the fielder. Not quite.
Two from that. Moving about the crease a wee bit now. 100 up for the Warriors. 101 for 4. And as we say, just hanging in there.
Expansive shots are certainly coming, but the fielder is out there, and that is cleanly taken. Beautifully taken by Cade Carmichael. Needing to cover quite a bit of ground to get there, diving forward in the end, but he removes Hilton for a well-played 25.
Yeah.
Foster bowled that so well. He followed the batter wide. But look at that, diving forward, Carmichael.
Terrific catch, and he patrolled the boundary at Pembroke absolutely fantastically well in terms of his speed across the ground, and you could see it there. Not many in the Knights lineup would have actually got to that and given themselves that opportunity. Not only did he give himself the opportunity, he took the catch, and that was just important for the Knights. We were just starting to flick the dial a little bit, turn it a little bit towards the Warriors. A couple of boundaries coming, and that just halts that momentum again. And that's Cameron Melly from Brigade. I've seen him cause some damage up in the northwest as well. As I mentioned before, hasn't really done it at their pro level as yet. Really, he just needs a little bit of a cameo here, maybe a 20 or so from 10.
His career strike rate in T20s is around 150 at this level, so he'll need to up that slightly, but he can certainly strike it cleanly.
Work from McCollum. Has it. Well, he's coming back. Good distance to throw in there for McCollum, so he gets off the mark with 2.
47 to come off 20. Just how important will Rohan Pretorius' innings at the last couple of overs of the Northern Knights innings proved to be in the context of the result here. Foster.
He's thrown everything at that. Even Cade Carmichael can't pull that one in.
That's a glorious shot. He got plenty on that, did Melly.
Dangerous player here. sort of said earlier, there wasn't really a power hitter. He hasn't featured so far this campaign any meaningful way. Came in the last game, that 5-over game, which really didn't count that much really. But as I say, if he can get a 20 off 10 balls here, it'll certainly give his team a bit of a shout.
So 43 of 19, one ball to go in the 17th over.
One more.
Make that one more, yes. Although the batter stepped across, Foster going a little too wide. Trying to follow the batter across. Millie's got that little trigger movement back and across before the bowler releases the ball. Oh, that's hit firmly, superbly, and all the way for 6. Melly, off just 3 balls, is already on 12. That's a strike rate of 400. And that's exactly what the Warriors require if they are to chase down this target of 150. They move to 114 now for 5, and Melly finishes the over in style.
Yeah, I could be talking 20 off 10. I think I could be 20 off 5 here. The way he's going, really looks to be that power hitter we were talking about. Late order in the Warriors, and a little bit of work to do here for Neil Rock. Didn't really see this coming a few overs ago, but T20 is that type of game. One batter can come in, really just turn the tide. Macbeth kicked it off with his little bit of impetus. Now Melly has really put the cat amongst it here.
So Foster finishes with 2 for 33. And Pretorius to finish his spell. In to get Kate, who looks to get big hitting Melly on strike. Does so successfully. Just a little prod towards Ross Adair.
I think you're exactly right there. I mentioned when he was bowling, knows exactly this game inside out. Shane Kate, he's looked at a boy who's hit 12 off 3 and hit it as clean as anybody has today in his first 3 balls. He says, "You're going well. It's over to you."
Just a little too cramped by the time he played the shot, but he'll get some. Couple off this shot played back over the bowler's head. 14 off 4 for Melly. 4 to come in this over. 33 off 16, the equation.
He's going to go for 2 here again. It's in the gap. It should get there. Carmichael is quick, as we've mentioned, but 2 more.
31 off 15. And what the Warriors have done so impressively is pull the run rate that was getting away from them completely back to a relatively more manageable 12 and over. But it's still a tough equation, 31 of 15, losing regular wickets. If one of these batters comes off, it's doable. They'll take the quick single, and Pretorius misses.
Pretorius misses. And that could have been the game right there. In the end, it's a good run. As you can see here, Pretorius direct hit. And all 3 to aim at. Oh, might have been tight actually.
But it was really well bowled by Pretorius as well. Completely cramped the batter.
Yep.
Okay, Kate's got a decision to make. Does he rotate and give the last remaining ball to Melly, or does he try to play the big stroke himself? 120 for 5, 30 to win of 14. And Pretorius has bowled a ball that is unfortunately down leg, but it was a pretty full ball, and
yeah, small margins there. It was a good length, really yorked. Get Kit, but just that drift down leg side, really fair enough wide. I mean, it was a wide these days. Just unlucky, I suppose, for the bowler. He's got to bowl it again.
2 balls to come in his spell.
And there you go.
Glorious. Straight over the sight screen, straight over the bowler's head. Get Kate gets in on the action. He moves to double figures, 11 of 6, and it's suddenly 23 to win of 13.
Yeah, and we've got this shorter boundary on the leg side in the next over. I have no doubt the Warriors will be targeting that. This game's turned on its head.
Pretorius, though, 0 for 20 off 3.5. This to finish his spell. Significant delivery.
And it's going to go for 4. Buys it is. Neil Rock had come up to the stumps because Getgate had come out down the track the last ball. So Neil Rock took the helmet, came up. That beats him. Goes for 4. And like I say, this game has really flip-flopped here.
And how did that miss the wickets? I mean, that must have moved quite a bit off the pitch. Well, Pretorius, relatively full ball. So Pretorius finishes, a man who started with a maiden over, 0 for 20 off his 4 overs. With the Warriors have snuck their way, crept their way up nicely to 131 for 5. They need 19 off the final 2 overs. Tom Mays will bowl the penultimate over. We're set for a nail-biter here at the Ward in Stormont.
Yeah, Tom Mays would have probably known he was going to bowl this 19th over. And about 5 or 6 minutes ago, he might have been thinking he would have had a lot of runs in the bank. Not anymore. He's got 19 to play with, and this is, as it's always in a T20 game, crucial over. He almost needs to take a wicket now and get rid of Melly.
So 17 in that last over that the Warriors managed to add to their tally. Here's Mays, and he beats the batter with his first. 19 off 11.
That's what I'm talking about, buddy. He's targeting that leg side. And he hit 2 beautiful shots in the last over from this end. But obviously that shorter boundary really does draw you in. Can Mays drag the Knights back here? Look to be foregone conclusion. Not anymore. Should just be 1. It's a long throw there. They're going for it. There's a mix-up. And let's see.
Safe.
Not out.
Well, certainly nervous moments for the Warriors. They managed to sneak 2.
See the mix-up here. Get Kate watching the ball. Stop-start. It's a late movement from Get Kate. There's the throw. A little bit wide. Good thinking from Get Kate. They couldn't get in the way of the ball. Melly on strike. That should be 1. Misfield. It is just 1 though. So 3 from the first 3 balls. What can Get Kate do now?
Neil Rock up to Mays to have a discussion. 16 of 9. 3 blows will end this game.
Yeah, we weren't saying that a few overs ago, these two. I mentioned 20 off 10. Melly is 20 off 9. Right now, he is taking the Warriors to this position, really. Just giving them that extra little bit of momentum. We've got 9 balls to go here. 16 runs in the bank. Mays to Get Kate. Slower ball. Drilled out into the offside. Nearly timed too well there. Gives the bat a little bit of a punch.
15 off 8 required. 2 to come for Mays in this over. And it's been a disciplined over. 4 from the opening 4. One big strike.
Yep.
And suddenly the Warriors will fancy their chances again. Merely to face Mays.
It's beautifully bowled from Tom Mays, you have to say. It's a dot ball. And the pendulum swings back yet again. What a cracking game we've had here today.
Good, Kate. Just walks down the wicket. Has a word with Melly. 20 off 10. There's Cameron Melly. Struck a couple of big sixes early on in his innings. But he and Kate have got 32 between them off just 18. Mays, final delivery of his spell.
Under edge, James McCollum out there. So it'll just be one. You have to say that's a terrific over from Tom Mays. Just five at this stage of an innings. 2 dot balls thrown in there.
But 14 off 6 is the equation. And 1 big over required. And Tyrone Kun will be the man handed the ball.
Thanks, Skip. This is what it comes down to. We sat last week for 6 games at Pembroke, and despite the quality of cricket that was on show, we didn't really have a last over game. Well, we've got it today, Dwayne.
We certainly do. Mays finishes with 0 for 26 from his 4. And you just wonder now, with 14 required off the final over, whether or not it was those initial misfields and overthrows that are going to prove costly for the Knights. They posted 149 for 5, and it was the big hitting of Pretorius that got them into a position that might have proved unassailable. It still might be unassailable. Melly and Kate have pulled the Warriors back.
Yeah, they've really done well for their team. Really struggled with the pitch and the bowling early on. But as we always talk about T20 cricket, the momentum can shift in a couple of overs, as done here. We're all set. Aaron Cohen.
So significant, the first ball.
Could be 2. He's got a little bit less on that, so it could be 2. In comes the throw.
It's a good 2. 12 or 5.
Yeah, that is a good 2. Almost better that he miscued that. It just dropped into that vacant leg side. It's completely vacant in terms of the inner ring. Man all around the boundary on the leg side. Melly to face up again.
There to be hit. Doesn't get all of it. And again, they'll look for 2.
Same again. Same again. Almost better that he mishit that. So he gets 2.
10 to win or 4. For the Knights, they need a wicket. They need to stem the flow of runs. For the Warriors, they need 1 big hit here to just cut that required run rate down even further. A 6 would certainly settle the nerves a little for the Warriors. A 4 would make it intriguing. And for the Knights, so significant is this period of the game, the final over. Kun being spoken to by Neil Rock for the 3rd time in the game. He's made his way all the way up to the top of the bowler's mark.
Yeah, it could be a big moment in the whole season here for the Knights. Lost their last game. They really need to get over the line here.
10 or 4. Full ball, and that's going to go all the way to the boundary. Cut away. The full delivery over pitched and blazes its way past McCollum. And Melly goes to 29.
Yeah.
6 required off 3.
Just tried the little cutter there. And 2 full. Melly gets on it. And really with the field as it is, as long as you got enough on that, backward. Gonna go for 4. And now we have another discussion about what to bowl here. It's always the way when we get into this last over. Everybody's got an opinion.
Well, 8 off the first 3. I need 6 off the last 3. Do the Warriors to claim their first victory of the season.
Gonna need a dot ball somewhere along the line here.
1 hit can finish this game. Where does Kun bowl now? Melly sets up again. Another full ball.
It's in the air, could go for 4 and does. Full ball again, and Melly's done the business. Stood his ground and hit that across the offside, this time in front of square. James McCullum again, can't do anything with it. And Melly has just stayed his ground there, stuck with it, cleared that front leg, and hit another ball to the boundary. Just 2 required now for the Warriors.
Tell you, that was not too far away from going all the way for 6. Taran Kun, 2 balls remaining for the seamer. Melly against Kun. 33 off 15 for Melly, who's brought the Warriors roaring back into a game that they looked out of after the power play. That allowed the required run rate to slip so significantly, going at a little over 3 and over through the power play.
Yeah, and the real conundrum here for Neil Rock, obviously just 2 runs to play with now. 1, I suppose, in terms of winning the game. So he's brought everybody up on the offside, but he can't let Melly play over the top of a free hit. Here comes Cohen, and that'll do it.
There it is. The Warriors claim their first victory of the season. It's a splendid win. They've chased down the target of 150 as Cameron Melly ends on a splendid 37 off just 16. He and Getkate have put together over 50 runs and that have seen the Warriors to a fine victory over the Knights with 1 ball remaining. They win by 5 wickets. Oh, splendid from Melly. Kun 2 full. And that's, as you say, an absolute nail-biter. But credit to the Warriors, the way they charged down on this target of 150, winning with the ball to spare. And that's a glorious 4-4-4 finish from Cameron Melly.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier that the Warriors had struggled with their power hitting late on in games and really generally in games, but Cameron Melly has come out here towards the end of this match and just shown exactly what he can do. And he's shown it in the Northwest, but that's winning a game for his side from nowhere, really. And Getkate just sat back and let him do it, really. A fantastic knock there at the end, 37 from 16. Really just turned this game around. And the Northern Knights have lost out when really they were in the box seat for much of that game. Certainly in the second innings, but a fantastic innings from Melly. And generally, a terrific finish to him.
Absolutely. Absolutely. After the power play, it would have been difficult for anybody to suggest that the Warriors were even in this contest. But the way they've brought themselves back in, credit to Scott Macbeth, who really started the fight back. Keane Hilton certainly played his part, but Cameron Melly and Shane Getkate playing a big part. This is the Knights innings. McCollum with an unbeaten 61. He batted almost throughout. He was in fairly early as Ross Adair was bowled just 2 balls into his innings. And then Pretorius, a splendid 38 of 17 that took the target to 150. Carmichael with a good looking 20. Egan opening at 17. Rock only contributing 1. Khaled out second ball, bowled by Scott Macbeth. 149 for 5 in their 20 overs. One of the Northern Knights. And the partnerships, McCollum and Egan spent a great deal of time together in the partnership of 49, but it was the partnership of 54 that really gave the Knights a fighting chance in this fixture.
There's the Warriors bowling, and very, very disciplined early. Macbeth, McKeegan, Getgate and Zimmerman early on, bowled to their field. McBrien, as usual, came on, took a wicket in his first over and was very steady. It was only really, as you mentioned, that late order push from Pretorius that really ruined a few figures there. Stand out possibly there, Shane Getgate coming back. Great to see him with the ball in hand again. First time he's bowled in a couple of years. 2 for 22 from his 4. So going at less than a run of ball. So a terrific effort from Sheikh Getgate. But generally the Warriors bowled quite well. Then it came to the Warriors' reply. And really at the start, no timing at all for the top 2. Doheny and Rolston really struggled to get the ball away. Jared Wilson came in and got a few boundaries away. When he departed for 27, it looked a real difficult task for the Warriors. Cian Hilton stuck around there for the run of ball, played the Carmichael and McCollum role really. But it was Scott Macbeth who got it going, 18 from 12. But really those two guys in green there, Getgate 12 off 8. But an amazing innings there at the death from Cameron Melly coming in. I suppose you could say nothing to lose, but my goodness, didn't he play well. 37 from 16. The partnership's very steady throughout. Nothing really at more than a run of ball. Difficult to get going, 11-20. And really nothing until again. That last partnership, that 4 at the end, taking it to a 50 partnership. Melly finishing 4-4-4, 51, and he contributed 37.
The final partnership, 51 of just 20 balls. What a combination it was, Getgate and Melly. Bowling figures took a little bit of stick in the closing stages. Kuhn in particular, 1 for 36 in the end as he finished 3.5 overs, 1 ball to spare in the innings. Humphreys bowled very well for his 2 for 26, 2 for 33 for Foster as well. No wickets for Pretorius, but he did start with a maiden over and was the most economical of the bowlers, and decent 0 for 26 for Mays, who for the first time this season fails to pick up a wicket. But the match summary, McCollum and Pretorius will stand out for the Knights in their 20 overs as they posted 149 for 5. The Warriors chasing down the target with 1 ball to spare. The Northwest Warriors have won their first game of the IP20, the Interprovincial Series. This is a very fine result for Boyd Rankin's side as they claim the victory courtesy of that unbeaten 37 by Jared Melly and a very, very solid Shane Getgate innings of 12 not out as well. But Jared Wilson, Cian Hilton, Scott Macbeth all contributing to the cause for the Warriors.
Yeah, so there you have it. The Warriors have run out victorious. Fantastic game here at the Ward Stormont. I'd just like to thank Dwayne and myself as we've had a real good game today. Everyone at HPV. As you can see on the screen here, we're back here at the Ward Stormont for the opening of the IP50 tournament. And again, it's the Knights versus the Warriors. If it's anything like today, you'll not want to miss it. I'd love you to join us tomorrow. From now, it's goodbye.